voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117, and you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.
And here we go. What's going on, people? It's the Xbot 448 with a special, I guess you say a special edition of Next Podcast. I wanted to put it under the Next Podcast moniker because I am joined by two panel members, two family members for Next Podcast tonight. We are going in and we are talking about Halo Infinite in terms of the campaign. This is a spoiler cast, people. A spoiler cast. So I'm letting it. I'm putting it out there right from the beginning. There will be spoilers. We are talking about the story, the campaign, the ending, what's going on, theorizing like what is going to happen when they add content, story content to this game in the future. So it's going to be a crazy show. So I hope anybody checking this out right now, people in the chat, Lethal Terminus right there, Mr. Glass, guys, I hope you know what's going on with the story. I hope you beat it. What is up? Ice Queen. She's been playing Destiny 2, getting ready for Witch Queen. Yeah, I can't wait for Witch Queen. I gotta say, I haven't been playing too much Destiny 2 lately. But yeah, it's a great problem to have. All right, I have three kind of like games as a service that I want to play in rotation, which is Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, and Destiny 2. So Destiny 2 has been kind of like sitting on the bench, kind of waiting for that time to shine. We are getting to that though. But again, spoiler cast, people. A spoiler cast. We will be going in depth on what we've seen in the campaign and theorizing what in the world is going on. And like I said, I am joined by two members of the Next Podcast. I am going to the Lone Star State to introduce this man. You might know him from OnlyFans, but he is here every Thursday. And he is also here tonight, my brother Predator. What is up, bro?
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm glad we got together to do this. I mean, like, it's very rare to hear people talk about a game that you beat and still people haven't beaten it yet. Like, we usually typically kind of wait like a couple of months and then we'll talk about it. But, like, I think this was a relevant conversation to have because there's people with a lot of theories out there, a lot of things they want to discuss about the game. And we all feel like we're so timid that we can't discuss it. So, you throw that title on there, spoiler cast, you know what you're getting into when you listen to this podcast. So, make sure you just keep repeating that every now and then, so people who pop in later are like, "Oh shit!"
Dude, well,
like, yeah, motherfucker.
I have it in all caps.
Yeah, it's in the title.
Warning,
yeah,
spoilers ahead. Like I think I have done every.
Motherfuckers don't read, man.
I have done every disclaimer I could, but dude, and I love the idea. I love that we're live here because the story was so captivating to me. And it's funny because other kind of like reviewers, kind of like people that have some influence out there, was saying how the story kind of falls flat and such. And I did not get that feeling with this, but if I go in and I try to say something, people are like, oh no, don't talk about it. So we are now under the spoiler cast kind of like title. We are under that umbrella. We can say whatever we want, Predator. It's all good. We warned them, man. We warned them.
Yeah, we warned them.
All right. Yo, shout out to Lethal. I'm into the lore as well. Maybe not as deep as you are. Like I didn't read every book and stuff like that, but I am really kind of like I'm really into the Halo universe. So there's a couple things I saw in the story that kind of made my ears perk up, got my eyes got a little wide. I'm like, whoa, where are they going with this? But we'll get into that. I have to introduce this man. Uh, he thought I was going by his time. I don't know why he would think I was going by his time when we all know the Lord's time is East Coast people. But K Mega is here to talk about Halo Infinite. What is up, K Mega?
What's happening, everybody? Man, I'm here. Excited. You know what I'm saying, to get to talk about some Halo. Man, yeah, most likely what I probably will be doing is playing some Halo later on tonight. So let's get with it. I'm with it. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm
We
ready.
are.
But I got some crazy theories. Some crazy theories.
Oh shit.
Even as if you go and you check my new and I might change that up tomorrow for the last GRG. Well, I said tomorrow, Friday, for the last GRG of the year. To hoodie lock, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Really?
What is
Really?
hoodie lock? Hoodie
I
lock.
Locke
Let's
is not
go.
in too many of my theories, bro. But that okay, all right, man.
Ah, ah,
But I gotta
ah.
say, we are bucking the trend right now because when it comes to games that come out and they come out hot, everybody's playing them. Everybody, like, as soon as you start talking about it to people, they're like, no, can't talk about, no, can't talk about that, can't talk about. Dude, we are going in tonight. All right, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna put it out there. There's a lot of things to talk about, and to kick it off, man. Uh, Not so much of a spoiler for anybody who just even started the campaign because we saw it in the beginning. Mega Master Chief got his ass whooped, bro, and tossed into
As
space, man. What is up with
as I predicted, and
that?
I loved every second of it. Not saying that I like to see Chief get his ass kicked, but I just wanted people to get an understanding, and I was hoping that 343 did that, to give that haven't played Halo Wars 2 or and don't know the lore like that, to actually understand how serious Atriox is. Like, I mean, and they did that right off the bat. Like, I knew that it would eventually happen because there were people that was giving the impression that Atriox would, if they would show Atriox was get killed. I'm like, there's no way. And then I'm like, if they do show him, it'll probably be somewhere middle or end of the game, after he fights Escharum, things like that. But they kicked it off right on the beginning, and
Yeah,
which that
that's the
also,
reason why he was floating in space, man. He got tossed.
yeah, right. Like, I mean, that was the thing. And so then, what was also really weird about that was that it also made me like, whoa, hold on, what is going on? Because they're supposed to be way out somewhere on a lost ring themselves, where the flood is. What the hell just happened? It's pretty crazy because they just jump right there, and the Banish is there, Atriox is there, and they're doing the things they're pretty much just destroying the Infinity. So I mean, and that's why
Three
in the
minutes,
first credit
bro.
scenes,
They said, yo,
four
Escharum
he said
said it
four
took
minutes. He said
4
4
minutes.
minutes.
4
4
minutes
minutes.
it took them to
4
take
minutes.
Infinity. Like that
Yeah,
is
Kevin, that's crazy.
that's crazy. That is
It's crazy.
absolutely crazy. Now when it comes down to it, I kind of like what they did with the story. They started with kind of like Chief and Atriox when they met up. Atriox slammed him around a couple times. Yo, freaking! You saw the heaviness when he had him by the leg. You saw the heaviness when he hit him with on the warthog, and he hit him on the kind of like barrier and stuff like that. Like you could tell, like Master Chief is not a light guy. With that armor and everything like that. It was like doom,
Mm.
doom, dude. Right off the bat, they caught me with that, and then they like throughout the story, they kind of brought it back, and they kind of said how everybody got there. Did you notice that? Like they kind of with Escharum talking and all that good stuff. You kind of you know Cortana was actually waiting for Chief to get to that ring where she was, but instead
Right.
instead Atriox got there first with his freaking army, bro. Like, dude, what do you think about just in general how they laid out the story in this game, man? Did this feel like a Halo? Did you think? Were you kind of like? Were you in it from the beginning to end? Like, what do you think about how they showed that to you, and then kind of going through it, they kind of let you know how it all got to that point.
Yeah, no, like that was the whole point of it to me was it made me feel that okay, 343, you're gonna make this into your own game because normally it would have been if this was what people were asking for would have been like, Chief beat the shit out of everybody and then we go home. But the point of the matter is that they're adding layers to this. And so then I'm looking at what Terminus is saying about like in the Shadows of Reach book. That Atriox contacted Escharum and then they opened up a portal to Reach where Escharum picked him up. So okay, awesome. So
Nice.
So the one thing to me was where when the story was kicking off, got started, it still, it had that familiar feel of, Halo, the stuff, the beginning, the build up. Then, but it had different little segments to kind of, because normally when you see a brute, the brute's always kind of like the dumb, hulking creatures that just, they just charge you, they scream, and then you could just kill them instantly. But right off the bat, they wanted to let you know, now these are different. These are different type of brutes. Everything that you're dealing with is going to be a little bit different. Because dude just took off the door. He just threw it at him like, hey, bro, I'm ready for war. You know what I'm saying? So, and then he's saying, but then he runs at you and then you pop his ass. But it just gave you that sense of, oh yeah, this is going to hit a little bit different. And to give that, and I want to let Craig get to what he's got to say, but to get to the point where you start off when you first get onto the ship, and then when you get off of the ship, it gives you kind of like that Halo 1, Halo 3 vibes at the end of the game with the explosions and the music, and you're jumping from place to place just to get off the ship. And then at the end of that little sequence, which is probably maybe about it took me almost an hour. The credits pop up. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what are you talking about? Like, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. This is the beginning. I mean, so once you do that, you get. I'm like, yo. So it got me excited. So actually, to take that back, I might have messed something up because I think the credits came on after he went into after he got off the ship, and then when he got back on the ship because he was floating, and dude picked him up, and then they got on part of the ring, and then once they got in the ring, then that's when I think the credits
when he
started.
got on the ring, when he got on the ring and was able to get out, like they came with the
Yeah,
kind of like the title,
yeah,
the title screen
yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, that's when I was like, oh yeah, and this shit hit different because that, like, I'm not even gonna lie, like I was playing on heroic, and that part when you got to try to get into the ring, that was pretty tough at that right when they were guarding that door area. That killed me a few times, and I was like, damn, okay. And then once I got through it, and then it just went like, okay, all right, here we go. The credit scenes is here. This is about to be pretty big. This is about to be pretty big. So I got thoroughly excited at that point. Yeah, for sure.
Nice, brother. Now we got to get Pred in here. Now, Pred, again, you beat the game, and I kind of figured you would be the first one to beat the campaign out of everybody on next podcast, because like when you go in hard, and you kind of like you're in there, and you don't come up for air until like the game's done. Like that's one thing I've noticed about you, especially in games that you really want to play. What is your experience like? What was your experience in the story, man? Like, it just kind of like in general, did it have you like from beginning to end?
Yeah, like I mean, you would get to this parts and you knew there was a cutscene coming, and like the transversing through the ring, just killing shit and blowing shit up. That's easy to do. I felt like I was just doing that just to get to the next cutscene, like. But what happens next? Let me hear this. Like, like I could have just watched the cutscenes and caught up with everything going on with Halo. But I will say there's a lot of stuff to do in the game outside of just playing the game, trying to beat the story with all the other, the audio files you can get and stuff like that and listen to. So, but it kept me intrigued. It kept me interested in what was going to go on because I do have some negatives about it, and we'll probably get into that later. But I thought like the way the game flowed was really good. I did get in there, like I didn't play on legendary because, like, I mean, I achieve my hunt now a little bit more than I used to. So like, let me beat the game once. Let me do everything I can do and get all those achievements, and then I'll come back and get the ones I can't finish. And I'm doing on legendary because getting everything on it, you have to do legendary too. You have to beat it, or is it legendary or heroic? You got to beat it on. I think it's
Legendary,
legendary
and I think there's an achievement for what they call
for
lasso.
heroic.
Lasso is
Okay,
legendary, all skulls on.
all skulls. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's not gonna
that's gonna
happen.
be
So like, I can
ridiculous.
tell you right now, there's games I look at and I start playing and I'm like, that's not gonna happen. We're not getting 100 on this motherfucker. Forza's one of them. I'm close. I got like 5 achievements left on Forza. And Halo's probably one I'll probably never do on legendary unless we do when they bring out the multiplayer co-op whatever part of
Yeah,
it.
if it's 4-player co-op, then it might be achievable. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just as good.
I ain't fucking with that. And plus, again, to do the skulls thing, you have to have the skulls. So like,
Mhm.
I have
I've
one. I
got
have one skull.
I got 2.
I've got all the ones you can get without have like because there's like 3 or 4 you got to do before like in the beginning of the game as part of the campaign. And that's the other part. That's again one of my knocks in the game. I can't go back and replay missions. Like I
Mm.
have to start a new save. So if I can go back and replay those missions to get those goals, I would do that. But like I can't do that right now. So I'm like I'll put it on pause for now. But I do have every intention of at least getting the skulls. I don't know if I'll get all the achievements because again, we don't get like on the PlayStation side, like we get platinums. We don't have that option on Xbox. It's just 100%, So, but I may go back and do it. But like back to the game, um, loved it. Love the story. And I'm not even in the Halo lore like that. There's some stuff to be like kind of left out and desired that I really would have liked to see. And like I said, we'll get into that later. But I thought the game kept me interested, and like you said, I told you, like you said it a minute ago. Like when I got a game I liked, I pick it up and I'll put it down. And I don't know when it came out. It came out Thursday or Tuesday.
I think it was the 8th, I believe, a Tuesday. I want to say.
Whatever day it came out, I think I had it beat in 4, maybe 3.
Came out on
And
It
Wednesday.
came out. Well,
Wednesday, yeah,
okay.
and I think I had it beat by Saturday or Sunday, and even
Mhm.
and I could have finished it well before that, but I was trying to get everything on the map too. So, and I easily some people talk about, oh, this game's really short. Like, yeah, you can brush through it and do it in like 8 hours, 9 hours. But if you're trying to do everything and get everything, you're gonna spend at least 20, 25 hours in this game easily,
Yeah,
easily.
yeah.
So
The funny thing about that, yeah, you can breeze through if you want to, but when it comes down to it, like the weapon variations, the vehicle drops, stuff like that that you get from taking the um taking the bases back and stuff like that, and just the overall gameplay. The gameplay to that is a lot of fun. Like when you
yeah.
know when you're kind of like going through the campaign, kind of like missions and stuff, to take a break and to go out into the open and be able to like call on a warthog, have a couple Marines jump in, one on the gun, one in the passenger, and kind of go out and take over these bases and kind of disrupt the banish like on you know the surface of the Halo. That's a lot of fun, man. I don't understand why anybody would want to like
So
skip out on that.
can we get into that real quick
Yeah, go
before I
ahead.
know you guys want to go? Like, I want to get into the pros and cons of the game.
Okay.
Um, because that was a topic I was really interested in. So um, I had some issues. I played on PC. I had some issues on the PC side. Um, like the audio wasn't working with the enemies and stuff like that. I couldn't
Their
hear
dialogue.
the dialogue at all. Like there was no dialogue
Dude, that is
whatsoever.
so bad because yo, the grunts
Because
in
it
this
was
game
funny. I was
are
listening
the
to people, so I was laughing
best.
my ass off when I saw it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel bad because like I didn't realize that shit until I was about 3/4 of the way through the game. Like I was like, why does this feel so empty and boring? And I'm like, because they're not fucking talking. Like I'm shooting these enemies. Like that would add a little bit more like dialogue to the game and added, make it seem more interesting to me. Again, and I gave this game high marks without that. But had I had that, that would have just been another element that I really wanted in the game. But like, I didn't hear any of that. Like, I had to, when I realized that I wasn't getting it, I had to turn on the caption so I can see what they were saying, because I could see it pull up, and I did write 343. I was like, hey, this is a bug, whatever. And I really didn't see a lot of people talking about that. That was one issue. I didn't like that we only were on one map. Like, there was no difference. Like, we
Nope.
basically went above
Like one
ground,
biome?
below ground. Yeah, above ground, below ground, above ground, below ground. Like, I missed like the snow. I know they did the whole weather effects, like the time of day cycle and stuff like that, which was cool. But like, I wanted more weather too. Like, add some rain, add some snow. Where the snow mountains at. Like, one of my favorite missions, I think, was one of the Halo games. I think it was 2 or 3, where you come out of the compound and it's just snow. I don't know if it's 2 or 3, and like, you like it's out of nowhere. You just come out. There's a
That might have
big.
been one winter contingency.
That might have been one. Where like you come out and it's just like everything you've been doing before on the like the regular battlefield was the same up until that point. When you come out and then there is snow. And I wasn't expecting that, and that we didn't get that in this game, because that was one of my favorite maps of Halo, was seeing that snow. For whatever reason, I don't know why I always go back to that, but that's always been my favorite map, because when I played that game, whichever one it was, and like you come out of the compound and it's just open, and it's just like the snow. You're on this compound, and like you're going down, like it's kind of linear, but like
But it opens up the spaces to like.
Yeah, it just looks a lot different than what you were seeing before, and it made that part like interesting to me. But like, we didn't get that in this game. And there's another theory that I have when we get into the theories part of this later about this game that I want to get into. But there the negatives though were really minimal for me. It wasn't like like the game was unplayable and I couldn't stand it and I hated it. Like, the stuff that I'm bitching and complaining about are kind of petty, So with the exception of the bug thing, but like, I still played the game. I still beat the game that way, and it didn't bother me that much. Where it didn't, like, to the point where I wasn't going to finish the game. I didn't, and for K Mega, I don't remember hearing any audio logs or anything like that to references of Locke.
I have.
Did you? Because I
didn't hear. I heard that.
Maybe I missed them. There's a few audio logs I need.
There's 2 out there.
So I heard half then.
I would have loved to see a little bit more of that tie-in and/or seeing the flood, because I really wanted to see the flood in this game, because I thought that was going to happen too, and I didn't see that either. So not game breakers, just me being petty, because I really wanted to see that in the game. I wanted to get that tie-in to Locke and everything going on, but it was just, we complained in the past because
Locke
we
is
didn't
off
get to play
somewhere doing something important. That's what's going on.
Well,
yes,
people complained, right? And like, I don't want to play with Locke. I want to play with Chief. So you got to play with Chief this game. So
and then people
you
are
can't
like,
complain
"Where's
about.
Yeah.
People ask where's Locke. It was crazy.
Here I am talking about that. Like, where the fuck is Locke? But I kind of wanted a little bit more tie-in with that. And maybe, when we get to the theories, I'll discuss that later. But I mean,
well, I can help you out on that right there. Okay, so the first one that I found was the one where I think by the one you found it where he went on a secret. He went on a secret mission, and it's almost kind of like a death wish mission. They said, and the guy kept saying, he says, we're gonna keep trying our luck. At one point, it's going to catch up with us but he keeps going back, and so he's gone again. So I think that was the same one that you heard, but the other one. And somebody from Halo Finder Waypoint found it, which I got to go find it myself personally, that Locke is still alive. Locke got his ass beat by Hyperius, the fight was so intense that Hyperius, in respect, took his helmet but kept him alive. And so that's the reason why Hyperius got his helmet. And if Lethal, if that's the same thing that you heard, then by all means, that's what I was reading, because they was like, well, Locke is not dead. So there's a lot of people that owes me, that that I had bets with. I want to see if they can pay up, but I'm pretty sure they won't. But yeah, but that was that was the thing that happened. So yeah, because when I fought Hyperius, that was the first thing, and I fought and I said this on the next podcast last week. I was like, I fought them with. When I seen that bastard, when I seen the name, I said, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you with everything, with no."
Yeah, but he didn't come alone either. Bastard. He came with his homie.
No, and his brother was kicking my ass, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I killed him, and then I went up on him and checked his body, and sure enough,
bro,
the
with
helmet
Hyperius
is on
and his brother, you know what I did? I met up with him, and there's this huge UNSC ship, kind of like in tatters on the ground, right? If you go to the left of the ship, you'll find a battle rifle, and then you use the grappling hook to get up on top of it.
Yeah, I couldn't get up there because I couldn't get up there because the brother was lighting my ass up, and then if Hyperius, because he was on that gold, dude came in hard though. I can't even front. Yeah. Like, he's on a gold. What is those things called? Like those lawnmower looking things?
Yeah,
the chopper.
The chopper cycle things, like it was all gold. It was tricked out, and if you got shot with that thing like twice, you were done. So I had
let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think, like, with the upgradable stuff that you got, did you guys think that made a big difference in the game? For you?
That is a great question. Dude, it was over halfway through the game when I really kind of caught on to switching my abilities. Before that, it was just basically my grapple hook, and I
was using my grapple hook most of the time.
I upgraded my grapple hook fully. I didn't touch the drop wall. I didn't touch that at all in terms of upgrading it. I don't even think I threw it out at any point in time, like during the campaign. But the threat sensor I used a lot, especially for cloaked enemies.
Yep.
It was incredibly valuable when I went up against that Spartan hunter with the elite with both the blades.
Yeah.
I use the threat sensor a lot, but it was basically and when I do my next run through, I'm gonna go through it with more of the abilities and stuff like that. Like, I'm surprised how much.
Oh, you didn't upgrade all you didn't upgrade all your abilities?
No, I'm surprised how much I didn't use the thrust mechanic.
Yeah, I didn't. I really used the grappling hook. I used the thrust ability because I felt like it was faster to get out of danger than the grappling hook in some of the fights I was doing, and it actually gives you cloaking ability partially at some point. Go ahead.
Oh no, I wanted to touch on what Lethal is saying, because he's right. I agree with him 100% about Hyperius and his brother. They didn't get enough shine. Like, I was expecting to see this cutscene element of it. Listen, when they first introduced the Spartan killers, and then you see them, like, they were like, you knew that was a whole nother level of fighting that you had to do. And I mean, they killed me a lot. Like, but once I figured out how to kill them, then that's when I but I kept Hyperius last because I wanted him personally, because I didn't know if Locke was dead or not. Yeah, no, I made it personal. I'm like, if you took out one of my favorite Halo characters of all time, you took him away from me, you're gonna die miserably. So I made sure that I pecked him enough because I went to the right side because once I made my effort to take out the brother. And so what I did was that because I had to run all the way back, because there was a sniper rifle and then there was another gun. I can't remember what that other gun was. And then I came all the way back, and then I kept shooting the barrels, and then he jumped across on the other side, and then I put the sniper on his ass, and then I jumped, and then I left it because I left the Warthog alone. I left it there because I knew if I jumped on and started shooting, then they were going to blow it up. So then I jumped on the Warthog, and then I took him out. then I was trying to take Hyperius out, and then it just took a couple of shots, and then damn Warthog was going. So then I ran over there to the right side and kind of hid, and then I kept on shooting that cycle. And when the cycle blew, I said, "Now your ass is mine," because there was a whole bunch of weapons. There was that was inside one of those broken down
Parts of the
ships.
ships, yeah.
Yeah, parts of the ships. They had the grenade launcher and stuff like that. And so I'm like, I'm picking my tools of which one I'm going to kill you with. But I want you to suffer. So I sit there and I hit him with the grenade launcher, got his ass, and then I sit there and I popped him with the sniper. Then I hit him with the grenade launcher again, and then I seen that his shield went off, and then I popped him, and then anyway, yeah, I was being sadistic with it because I went to, and then I found a dude with a needler, and then I was like, I'm gonna stick your ass with that. So I was running around looking for different guns to kill. I wanted him dead. So yeah, but anyway, but the one thing too I wanted to make is that you find the dialogue prompt in a skull. So it wasn't a other thing, but it was a skull. So and that was the thing when I read into the in a waypoint.
Yeah, there's a
Right,
skull that does
there's
alternate
a skull
dialogue.
that actually gives you alternate dialogue, but the regular dialogue, I didn't get any of that at all.
Oh yeah, but there's one of the dialogues that talks about Locke going out, and they also talk about Blue Team as well going out on a mission as well. They didn't talk about Buck or Mobile Team, which was kind of surprising because there's been a lot of theories about that. But yeah, that was just one thing. But then he took the trophy as he took it to, and he left Locke live to show that he could beat the best Spartans out there, which that also makes me happy because of course Locke is one of the best Spartans out there. But that's all right. It's okay.
All right. Well, let's get into the story a little bit. Now, let's get into the weapon. All right, real quick. The new AI Chief was sent to go pick her up. She was supposed to delete herself, or she was supposed to be deleted after she accomplished her mission. They made it kind of like this mystery in the beginning of the game. Like, why is she not deleted? And of course, Chief is like, the missions changed. Missions they always do, all that good stuff. What I don't know. Either one of you take this one. Whoever wants to take this first. What do you think about kind of like the unveiling of who the weapon is? Like, did you guys caught on to that, right? That basically, she's a clone of Cortana, but without, I guess, they removed some of the psyche that made Cortana kind of like decide to do what she did. So she's basically like Cortana, kind of like reborn. Is that where you were hoping that they would go? Like, what do you think about the evolution of the weapon in the story?
Are you okay?
Anybody, either one of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was I personally would have wished that she was her own AI, but there was no question that everybody, I think, that knew anything about the lore or just followed the games would know that was Cortana, but a different form of her. So we knew that was the case. The one thing I will say is though, and I know that her name will probably be Cortana at the end of in the next.
Well, they make you assume, like, you assume
but
that,
I
right?
don't. But I don't want it to be. I want her to have her own identity. You know what I'm saying? But I think just because of nostalgia purposes, people would probably just want her to be called Cortana. But I don't know. I kind of want her to have her own thing because she is Cortana, but she's not Cortana. She's Cortana light. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know. But to me, yeah, I think everybody kind of knew that followed the lore. Definitely kind of felt like this is who she was. But to the degree of how it all happened, though, and to know that like there is a complete ending to Cortana, to the original Cortana, that part was surprising because I thought that would come a lot later, than not as soon as it did. So yeah, that part really did throw me for a loop.
All right, and when it comes to the ending, you're talking about basically her kind of like sacrificing herself and everything and blowing up part of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ring,
yeah.
right? Yeah,
Right. Yeah, she was the reason why the ring got blown up. Yeah.
that was
So
crazy. Yeah, that is something I didn't see coming either. I thought that was damage because of the war. Like it got to that point, and I didn't realize that Cortana had a plan, kind of like from the beginning with all this, and to get
well,
John
she
there.
told Chief, but remember she told Chief in Halo 5, and she told Chief in Blue Team, she's like, you just stay here, be patient, and everything will work itself out. But the one problem was that she wanted to just stop all wars. She wanted to cancel anything that was that could cause any type of disruption, problems, or anything. So so that's why she took over installations for the
She tried to force
Spartans.
peace.
She tried to force peace, right? And that was the thing that where she made the mistake, was that she tried to force people force people to let people know, like, look, like she was the dictator, but her intentions were good, but it wasn't as she knew she's an AI, she just didn't understand about how how other beings would take to somebody telling them stop fighting. This is not what I'm telling you to stop. And mostly, and this is just human nature, or just alien nature, whatever. Since we got aliens in this game, that you can't tell people what to do and force them beyond their will. Because even if they do want peace, at the end of the day, if you come out there and say, "Look, I'm telling you to stop," I'm going to go ahead and just say, fuck it, I want war. You know what I'm saying? I choose war anyway because I choose violence because you're telling me what to do, and I don't feel like being told what to do. So that was pretty crazy. But yeah, it goes back to when in Halo 5 when she was telling John and Blue Team, look, I'm keeping you guys here, and when I get done with this will keep you safe. You won't have to worry about anything. But then that's when Team Osiris came and they saved Chief and Blue Team and took them away from Cortana. And then Cortana just went ahead and did what she was going to do anyway. But she knew that John was safe, and she knew that he would eventually get to her at that point. But she was not expecting Atriox to do what he did. So that was crazy.
Well, I mean, she took it a little too far with the wrong
She
person.
took it way
She
too
took
far.
it a little too
way too far.
That caught me, man. But before we get into that, Pred, I know you've played, you played Halo 5 and other Halos. What do you think about the weapon and kind of like the evolution of her, in the beginning, kind of being almost infant like in terms of the world. And I remember when the first kind of like the first mini boss was coming down the elevator, and Chief's like, Chief goes to pull her from the, she's like, well, he might be friendly. And he's like, he's not, it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think about the evolution of the weapon and who she in fact really kind of like is, in terms of being a clone of Cortana? Did you like that evolution in the story? Predator.
He probably
Is he here?
busy.
He's probably
Busy.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then let's we'll get back to him on that one, but let's get into what Cortana did, because that in fact is what basically got this whole thing going. It's what got Atriox and the Banished to focus on Cortana. Now, she was trying to force peace, like me, K Mega, you said.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
we hear you now.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
here. I'm sorry. I had to reset everything over here. I stepped away from. I guess my Bluetooth connects. It disconnects the audio for whatever reason. So,
It's
so you
weird
asked.
that happens when you're on my channel, but when you're on your OnlyFans, man, everything is just running perfectly. I don't know what's going on here, bro.
Well, they're paying subscribers.
That is true. That is true.
So, you're asking about the weapon, and so
kind of like her evolution in the story.
yeah, I thought that was really interesting how they did that. Like, I I kind of got the sense that that was what was going on. She was a clone from the beginning, just from whatever reason. But I like there's a part in there where Chief doesn't trust her.
And he
Right.
almost what?
What? He almost deletes her.
He almost deletes her, pisses her off too, bro. Oh
Yeah,
my!
and then she fucking starts acting like a fool. Like she's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh motherfucker, you about to delete me a minute ago. So like
Right.
whatever, do what you want to do. You know, like I thought that was pretty cool that they showed.
Talking to you.
I've never
Like,
seen
what?
Cortana do that. Like Cortana never did that. Like she was like, oh word, like oh you gonna delete a motherfucker like that? No, and that's the attitude she took on when that happened. Like for a little bit after that, she was like, up until the situation with the pilot happened, like there was a gap in there where she was like, whatever. She had her arms crossed, like she was some mad chick. You know what I'm saying? Like oh, you just fucked my cousin. You know?
Yo, for
that's the attitude she had. Like she had her arms crossed and was like, well, you know what? You can figure it out yourself. You know, like and then like the thing with the pilot happens, and then they rescue him and stuff like that. And she kind of feels like she's more, you know, like she trusts her more. But then she gets to the point where she realizes like that little snap.
Yeah, yo, dude, that was a tick. That was a sign that I didn't even notice until they brought it up. And then you kind of look back, you're like, oh wow.
And because it goes through that dialogue every time she did it. And she's like, wait a minute, I'm Cortana. I'm a clone of her. I'm doing the same shit she was doing. And then like it hits you. And I was like, oh shit. Yo. You know, it kind of reminded me, if you ever watched Game of Thrones, I don't think you ever watched the series. And so people who are Game of Thrones fans don't talk about, there's this scene in Game of Thrones, and this guy, he's always like, Hodor. And then there's an episode in there where he's like, hold the door.
Right.
And it starts tying in, like, why the fuck does motherfucker say Hodor all the time? Because all he would ever say was Hodor. And so he was in this trance. And when he gets to that point in the show where they show how he got to who he was, who he became, there was a scene in there where they were telling him, hold the door. And then he got into that trance. That's all he remembered was Hodor. And so I was watching, when I was playing the game, it reminded me of that. Like it hit her. Like I've been doing this snap, and that's been the tie-in to who I am. So it was crazy how that happened. But I think that was like, that's one of the story elements that some people won't catch and think like, oh, they'll probably overlook that. But like, that was some pretty good storytelling, how they tied that in, like with her character, you know. But I think it's you know, the weapon, and I think she eventually picked the name Cortana, right?
Well, they didn't say
you don't know.
She's like,
she's
like, I got the perfect name, and you know, you kind of assume that.
Yeah, they kind of allude to it that she picked Cortana, but like
she can't be Halsey.
Yes, what I was about to say. Like she might have been Halsey. You know, I mean that's an option too. But like I don't think that's what happened. I think she picked Cortana, but they don't ever say it. You know, but like, but
do you want her to be called Cortana? Because I don't. She has so much of her own personality that I like the fact that she can be her own person. Like,
her name is now Cortana Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll stray away from that, because they've named like the fucking AI on fucking Microsoft Cortana, you know. So like, I think they'll keep it, but
they discontinued,
and it will make sense to me. What'd you say?
And they discontinued that as well.
Yeah, that's what I call it, Halsey. But but it was surprised me they came back in the next, you know, the next part of this Halo chapter, and they Chief is like, I don't want you to be named Cortana. You're going to be named Dragon Balls, and so, you know, like something else, like some random name or some shit like we never thought of. But like, it would surprise me. But I mean, if she does go with Cortana, she goes with Cortana. But like, it's
I think they're doing that to kind of like, kind of seal up and move on with kind of like the same names for characters, even though she is different. And you know, K Mega, I do like that you pointed out her attitude when Master Chief like really didn't trust her, and you
no, that was Fred that said that. Yeah.
Like when like that whole thing right there, like the personality right there shows that it's a different quote Cortana. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because
the beginning is there.
She got real saucy. Yeah.
Yes. Like the kind of like the framework is Cortana, but you can already see the personality branching off in a different direction than what Cortana was, and I like that. And when it comes to the name, I guess I can go either way on it. Like, yeah, it would be cool to have a different name. But I can see why they would kind of move forward with the same name if that's the way it is going down. Just kind of to keep that, I don't know, familiarity. I guess moving forward, even though it's the personality to this AI is definitely going in a different direction. But let's get back to what Cortana did, because with her trying to force peace throughout the galaxy, of course, she comes across um, Atriox, Escharum, and the Banished, and she has a meeting with Atriox, and within this meeting, she thought she was all high and mighty. She has the power of Forerunner technology. She is controlling everything. She has the Guardians. She thought that she can strong arm Atriox and the Banished to listen to her. And it all escalated in her literally, with the Guardians, blowing up Atriox's homeworld.
And yeah, Escherum's.
Well,
Well,
Escherum's as
most yeah,
well.
most
But yeah, I
it's
say
the Brute's homeworld.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I say Atriox because he's the head of the Banished and stuff like that. But yeah,
right.
basically destroying the Brute's homeworld.
Really? See, this is the thing though. Escharum is old, so he technically was the one who started the hand of Atriox. You know what I'm saying? Because so he kind of started that because remember, Atriox is Escherum's apprentice, yeah, I think that's
Other
what
way
the
around.
right word to say. Oh no, not apprentice, but yeah, Atriox is Escherum's apprentice.
Yes.
So that just kind of shows you what kind of, I don't know if he was a warlord like what Atriox is, but like how dominant Escharum was. And look, we're talking about this dude ain't like, like maybe like 80, 70. This motherfucker's hundreds of years old. So there's probably still more story about Escharum going forward to kind of tie in some things of the connection between Atriox and him, because you tell that Atriox is probably looks up to him like a father figure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because, so like Escharum is not young. Like, so I mean, and so therefore, like we talking about this thing is probably 100 years old. I mean, hundreds of years old. And getting to that point to where, I don't know if you found that soundboard or sound clip or whatever, but he talked about the homeworld. And I'm like, why is he talking like his homeworld is not there anymore? And then, of course, you get further into the story, and then you find out what happened. And so, because he was talking about the rain and then, like the smells and all that. And I'm like, well, why don't you just take your ass back home if you miss your home? Like, that's what I was thinking to myself. Like,
Can't
I'm
do
not
it, bro.
getting it.
Can't do it.
But now, yeah. So once you got to that point, and then you got and you seen that ending where Cortana blew up that homeworld, that just made everything a lot more
That made
dire
my jaw drop.
And and let's not forget, she also destroyed Australia. So she did you not see the part where she sit there and shot? She was giving demands to a faction on Earth in Australia, and they and she blew up, and they said we tried to find out where in Sydney. She had a guardian right there, and that motherfucker shot right there, and they like all life from Australia is we don't see no readings. It's gone, or if not Australia, but Sydney is gone. She gave a warning shot. That just tells you that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, Cortana was on a whole nother level about what she was trying to do. And then also, when she blew up all them Spartans on that one space installation.
Oh, the training facility, like
the training facility. Yeah, so so to me that would be that's why I say if you name her Cortana, you would still. I mean,
That
like
stigma will stay with it.
that stigma's still there, and I just don't see it. I don't know. I mean, I
I
understand
think
for
they
people
could
for
throw a wrench in
nostalgia,
it because they didn't say the name. If
right?
you know what I'm saying, she could be like, yeah, I know you joked around and said Halsey, but
Mhm.
Halsey is at the core of Cortana. Like that was an AI made off of Halsey. So
Mhm.
she could kind of be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna be named Halsey, and she's like, yo, whoa, hold up. You don't want to do that either. You need to, just pick your own name. Like, what do you feel? I mean, they could go that route. Because I didn't even think about that, man. Like, there is a whole stigma. She did a lot of
He
damage,
did
bro.
a lot of damage, right? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's not only this is the thing that I can't wait till we get to the end game of this, and so we got all our predictions. But the one thing about what Cortana has done, she was trying to solve a problem, but like she said in the game, like she's like, I was ignorant, didn't I went too far with what I was trying to do, and I did it alone and didn't think of it as a team because I knew that you would have told me to stop doing the things that I was doing, but because you were trying to stop me, I felt like you were part of the problem instead of the solution, and I forgot about the team. So that's what I'm saying. So it was really cool to hear her regrets. So that's why I'm like, it kind of gives me this sense, and I'm still sticking with this. I'm not changing what I said beforehand. Like, this is the last chapter for Cortana and for Chief. And I think that's why I was so surprised that they were kind of letting Cortana just kind of go away so quickly. But to keep her going after all the things that she done, I think it would just be better to let the Cortana just that name just go away. I don't know if they'll do it or not, but to me, it just kind of it kind of would seal that situation of where like Cortana did the righteous thing at the end, and she went out like she was supposed to, instead of how a lot of people who played 4 and 5 thought that she was going to go rogue and Chief was going to have to kill her. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So to have this new entity, which is part of her, come out and not be its own and still keep the Cortana mantle. I don't know. That just seems kind of odd to me. Like I said, I don't know what the writers are going to do. They probably still will, but for them not to have her for them not to say anything at the end of the game, kind of makes me think that she'll have a different type of name. It'll still be something that's still reminiscent to Cortana, but not actually Cortana. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
I got you. And yo, Pred, what do you think about, like, because basically Cortana is the reason why, like, she got on the banished radar with destroying the brute homeworld. What did you think when you saw that? Because like that was a jaw drop moment for me. That is something I did not see coming, because like I was wondering why they were kind of like going after her, why they were on the ring, and that kind of answers it right there. And then come to find out, this ring is different from the others, and it's kind of holding like these secrets and stuff like that in it. But the main thing was they were tracking down Cortana because she blew up their homeworld, bro. Pred Predator.
He's doing a lot of jiggling.
Yeah,
I'm here. What's going on?
I got you. No, I asked what you thought about like what Cortana did when it came to like the Bruce homeworld and stuff like that. Like what when you saw that, when you saw like they showed the hologram of the Guardians circled around Atriox Escheron's, basically the Bruce homeworld, and she just blew it apart. Like
Yeah,
what was going through your mind?
that's why they are who they are. That's how they became who they are. Like, you have to go through something to become something. So that scene set the tone for how they became angry. You know what I'm saying? So um like there's not really much else to say about that aspect of it. It's just like I heard K Mega talk a little bit, like like how, and I think someone put it in chat too, like how she was trying to solve a problem, but there was a scene in there. He's like, I think it was Aatrox or one of the other main characters, and he's like, just basically like, just know what you're doing before you do this.
Right.
And she's like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And then it came back to bite her the ass later
Yeah,
on.
she was like, "Well, your decision has consequences," and he was like, "Well, so do yours." Basically,
So
he was
does
like,
yours. Right. Yeah. Like, yeah. And
Yeah, I
normally
mean, so
just think about this. You just watching somebody blow up your home world. I mean, like, and
he was so calm.
He was calm. He was mad, but he was calm as fuck. Like, all right,
okay,
all
all right,
right.
bitch, we got you.
Yo,
Cool,
for real.
cool. Hey, all right. He was like, that's when you knew you a bad motherfucker right there. Just because when you're dealing with somebody and they calm like that after you just, I mean, like, that's a whole nother level of just disrespect. Like what Cortana did. And then you just do that, and let's just say you did that to somebody and they just look at you, all right, cool. All right. I'll holler back at you, man. I got you. I got you. Yeah, you better be ready for war. Because that means that dude or chick might have some connections. You about to go through some hell in your life. And so that was exactly how that was. So I love that. That's why I loved everything about Aatrox in Halo Wars 2, and they didn't disappoint me about with Halo Infinite. Like, he didn't get a lot of big roles, but every role that he was in was letting you know that this dude is significant. Like, this is next level. This is high tier right here.
Well, I gotta ask. I'm gonna ask both of you guys. So both of you guys are gonna chime in. When one's done, the other chime in. Like, with knowing, kind of like the Banish, kind of like what is fueling them here. Like they had their world destroyed. Are they really the bad guy when it comes down to it?
Yes, because they're warlords, man. Like, I mean, well, okay. So this is another thing too, though. I mean, they are bad because they conquer, and they conquer everything that they want, right? But they also can be looked at.
I'm
as
talking
a
like in this situation though, like they tried to talk to Cortana.
Well, I mean,
as well.
they're way, like, okay, so basically this is what makes you bad, right? Like, okay, so it's eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, right? Like, so basically, okay, Cortana messed up. We got a plan to sit here and to take care of Cortana, but they took it out on the human race. Like, we're gonna go after what you love. We're gonna take out the whole. We're taking out. We're going after all of humanity, and we're gonna get this ring, and we're gonna blow it up. We're gonna take, and every Spartan, every badass Spartan out there, we're gonna kill them.
All right.
And if not, So
humanity created Cortana, though.
I get that, but in all actuality, though, this is where Chief made the mistake. He should have. Cortana should have been deleted. She went past her deletion point. And so Chief, because he was, because of whatever,
emotions.
His emotions got the better of him instead of doing what he was supposed to do and letting them delete Cortana. He takes her, he goes rogue. And that's what gets Locke and Team Osiris to go hunt him down. Like, they got this crazy ass AI that we've been trying to fight off the Covenant. We damn near got the Covenant defeated in Halo 5 because, because of, thanks to the Arbiter and them. We go to Cilios, we go and we take that shit over. The Covenant is damn near crushed.
Hold on.
So
whose gameplay is this? Why are you teabagging this dude?
Because he pissed me off. You have no idea how many times I fought that
killed
guy.
me a couple of times,
and
too.
I went like, that's deep herbal teabag right there. That is what that is.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, you was teabagging the hell out of him. Yeah, he was a problem though. He scared the shit out of me when they first popped up.
Yo,
the hell?
And hold on. Shout out to Blue Shell who said it wasn't a good idea to grapple a brute with a hammer.
No.
But Blue Shell, you did see my final blow. My final blow was a grapple shot punch that knocked him out. That did it. It did the deal. So I hear what you're saying, but I was like, you know what? My last hit on him is gonna be up close because it took that many times to beat him.
Right. So yeah, he was a problem. But that's the whole thing of this is that yes, Cortana did do this, and she's tied to humanity. But it's Chief. But it's just like what Chief had to come in. This is what I also loved about it because they also let you know that Chief knew his failures. He knew his
Yes.
failures. He said, "I let Cortana down. I let humanity down. I have failed. I have failed. I was supposed to do so many different things, and I fucked up. And this is one of the big consequences because of it. And we brought this crazy ass situation up on humanity with the banish, and now you're gonna have something that's worse than the flood
Yo, it's funny because Gogo
coming back.
Poe just said something about that. He said there's gonna be a worse version of the flood. Yo, Poe, we're gonna
we'll
get into that. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Trust me, man. We are building up to that.
So yeah. Now this is it's one of those things for me is that I just like I love the storytelling within it, especially for what for all the games especially the later game from 4 on down to now Infinite, of how everything is still tied in together. And in every game is significant because it proves that, listen, yeah, the Banish aren't so much like the Covenant that's trying to take over worlds or trying to do something, they're not that devious. But the point of it is that what I'm also reading in the comments too is that they said, like, we will bow to nobody. And if and Cortana, listen, I'm sorry, look, she's an AI from the human world. Listen, we're gonna have to kill that because we don't want another Cortana to blow up another new planet for us or some shit. So we might as well kill off humanity. You know what I'm saying? So for them, it's more about survival and that they're not punks. They just want to be free to do what they want to do. And then when you look at the situation from now, the new character that they showed, I forget her name now.
The Harbinger?
The Harbinger, the Truth. Like, it was crazy because Atriox had that Joker wild card in his back pocket the whole time. Like, yo, I got some things that I'm going to try to do. So therefore, okay, Cortana, I got you. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to unleash something even worse upon the universe that nobody even heard of. So it's crazy to me of what's going to happen. But yeah, Cortana, man, Chief, the mistakes that they've made throughout the games, especially the last ones, is that, look, they didn't do what they were supposed to, or we probably wouldn't even have this situation to happen. But it's happened. Now this is going to be like a war that we've never ever seen in the Halo universe before, because we thought the Covenant was bad. Like, you found out in the game that the Covenant wasn't shit to the Banished. The
Covenant, we beat the Covenant, but they were fighting 2 wars at that point in time. They were fighting against the Banished on one side and then humanity on the other, and still humanity almost lost. Like, still. So that was crazy.
Let me address Eric B. He said, I just want to know what happened to Locke. Locke is still alive. Locke is not dead. Locke got beat up by Hyperius. Badly. But Hyperius spared him. So he didn't die. Hyperius wanted to let him know that he could beat some of the best Spartans out there. I read one thing that said that the battle was really good, but then, Locke got his ass beat severely, and so he took his helmet as a trophy. So, but he spared his life. But both of them said that his life is spared. So you can find that in a skull. So I have not found that skull yet, but I did read it in the waypoint. But I did also did find, and I heard that myself, where he went on a mission, and he's gone on these like secret, low key spy missions, and he's keep coming back. But like the dude said, at one point it's going to catch up with him, and of course he did catch up with him, and he got his ass beat, but he's not dead. So Locke is definitely going to be coming back.
All right, and Pred.
That's in the game, Eric B.
Um, Predator,
Yo,
yeah. Basically the same question to you because when it comes down to it, the Banished, they were going after Cortana because of what she did basically. Now, of course, they had other plans and stuff like that. And the reason why I say this, I want to put this out to the chat. I'm not like championing the Banished as like this great group of soldiers or whatnot. What I'm trying to point out here is that when it comes to 343, they're they're painting. It's not like just completely black and white. They're painting a lot of grays in here. Like yeah, like they were planning on doing this, but can you blame them for wanting to like go after Cortana for what she did to their world and stuff? So Pred, I gotta ask you, when it comes down to it, after seeing what Cortana did and stuff, could you really blame the Banished for wanting to, get after that chick? Like, is the Banished like just like that bad group, kind of like antagonists, or like how do you feel about the Banished? And I like because I see like they're definitely they take what they want and stuff like that. But there is also kind of like there is an honor system within their culture and stuff like that. Like I don't think you can completely hate them. Like what do you think about them, man?
yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think the structure, the military structure they have within their unit is different than it was with the Covenant. Like it's different. I still thought I was fighting the same enemies, you know what I'm saying, from other Halos, um, but I don't blame them for doing what they did. I mean, like that's you know, Cortana like fucked them over. So like they're gonna have retaliation. They're gonna retaliate that kind of shit. So like I don't again I think like what would have helped is a story in between five and this one. Like K Mag is probably gonna say, well, that was Halo Wars too, but like a lot of people didn't play that game. And I think like the beginning scene of Infinite kind of led you into some of that kind of stuff. But I think the story could have been told a lot better in the beginning, how it got there for people who didn't play Halo Wars, too, and get into that aspect of it. So,
Well, it actually started after Halo 5, but
yeah,
but it's set months later. If you beat Halo 5 on Legendary, it shows the Zeta ring. I just didn't know what the hell that thing was. But I
yeah.
don't think anybody knew what that was except for
But
maybe
but
people
but
deep in the
between
lore.
5 and Halo Wars 2, because I didn't play Halo Wars, so you can correct me if
Right.
I'm wrong. Was there enough there to go right into Infinite if you played
No.
them? So
Only
like,
Yeah, the only thing that you would know is about the Banished because
yeah,
but there wasn't really too much. There was tie-ins at the end, and then there was a tie-in about the flood, uh, you know, with the DLC aspect of it. But really, when it came down to just kind of like if people didn't play Halo Wars 2, they wouldn't have known about the flood. I mean, about the
yeah,
Banished.
the
But
Banished.
like, yeah. But if you played Halo 5, you would have started the game off knowing what happened because the Affinity was escaping Cortana at the end of Halo 5's story.
Like,
So
I think what would have helped this game just a little bit was remember was it Halo? What was the one? God damn it! It wasn't 3. It was the one after 3
Reach?
where you play Reach. Like at the end
Mhm.
of Reach, how you fought everybody and then you die, right? Like
Right. Yeah.
at some point you fight them all, but you're eventually gonna die at the end. Like there should have been that kind of a story just at the beginning of Infinite, like where you actually fight Atriox and you lose. Like not the cutscene part of it. Like you go in, like part of the mission is like a backstory, I guess. Like they pre-tell it. You go in as chief, you go in, you fight Atriox or whoever the fuck it was in the cutscene in the beginning of the game, and then you die, and then the cutscene shows where you're floating in space, and the guy kind of comes in and saves you and stuff like that. The pilot comes in and saves you. I
It
think
it would
for
have been
this
cool if they added like before Infinite came out. Like I
another game,
I
yeah,
love the intro. Not even another game. a quick free DLC, the Battle of Infinity, right? It gives you just one level.
Yeah,
They
that's
kind
what
of
I'm
go
saying.
in.
Like that could have been the first part of this game, and to lead you into what you're getting ready to get into. Like,
Mm,
I think had they done that, it would have told the story a lot better than what some people get who are not huge into the lore of Halo to understand what's going on. Because like some people are just like, oh, I got saved by this pilot. I'm going back on this planet. I'm killing things, and I'm saving Cortana. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck Cortana is at. Like, um, that was my biggest knock on the entire story. But I think had they done that, it would have tied in like your question you asked. It would have tied in why the Banished are so fucking pissed. You
well,
know
yeah,
what I'm
and
saying?
I
Like,
mean the Banished,
yeah,
they have their eye on this Halo, and I remember at first they're uh I guess they Chief was like, well, they're aiming to fire the Halo, and then the weapon's like, well, there's a huge chunk of it missing, so that's a problem for them. And it's not necessarily that they want to fire the Halo; it's that there's something on there, and they're calling it the endless, that they're trying to get to, which is why they kind of woke up Harbinger. They woke up Harbinger of Truth, uh, and she was like kind of like guiding them to it. Now, yo, shout out to the friendly neighborhood Blue Shell real quick, who did hit up the super chat. That is right, people. The super chat does indeed work. Thank you so much for the support. He says if 343 adds the Reach mission with Blue Team and Chief from the novels as DLC, as DLC campaign, it would help newcomers who didn't play Halo Wars 2. Now, um, I didn't read any of that. I'm a big Halo fan. I'm not a big fan of reading for entertainment. I'll read to like learn stuff. If that makes any kind of sense. Like that's my I don't really read for entertainment per se. So I'm gonna have to go with your word on that one, sir. I mean, it kind of sounds like it does fit. um I can't really talk from the side of people who are coming in new to Halo. I've played every single Halo, and it's been a part of kind of like my gaming side, like at its core. So I can't really vision not knowing Halo when I play Halo. Again, I don't know if that makes sense, man, but it's really hard for me to think about, if somebody never played Halo, how are they going to feel about this? Because the story, the universe, the characters, they're all kind of like they're a part of, you know, my personal hobby that I love. So, but I'm going to take your word for that, yo. Great, yo. Shout out to you for bringing that up, man.
Mm.
Um, where is it? Oh, Harbinger, Harbinger. I got to ask you guys what you thought. And the funny thing about Harbinger is this is the last time we're going to see Harbinger, because I believe she died as well.
Yeah, she sacrificed herself. Yeah.
Yes. And I thought she was such a cool design when it would like looking at her face and the animations, and like I don't even know like what species she is, but I believe they kind of like either she kind of was awoken after kind of like the blow up or something like that, because I remember I did see the plate where she was preserved when basically when you get onto Zeta Halo, and you're going up and you see kind of like that plate, and again they're preserving species. They had species preserved on Zeta Halo, I guess, for after the firing. So you'll see like outlines of humans. I believe outlines of elites, stuff like that. You'll see like different species and kind of like their outlines, and then you see the outline of this one that was kind of like broken. Instead of the blue outline, it was yellow. So I guess that said that it was empty, and that was the Harbingers because it had the same shape and everything like that. Uh, but I think for me that might be too soon of an ending for that character. I wanted to know exactly like what she was, and kind of like I know she was talking about, it's not the humans, the humans won't take the mantle. and
You
all
know
that good
what I
stuff. I just
you
don't.
know what I think she was? I think she was just kind of like how what is the sparks? Is that what those things called?
Guilty
I always
spark.
forget the like
Those
the
are
little ball
monitors.
things.
Monitors.
What are those? The monitors. I think she is their version, the endless version of their monitor. I think she's a monitor for them. And
Okay.
I think that's my interpretation. I could be completely wrong, but the reason why I say that is because she was kind of put in place to awaken the endless. So just like the monitors are there to watch over the halo rings or the installations or whatever, the spires, whatever that they got to watch. So I think that she is their version of what that is. Now, when we get to the last part of it, of where we get to the predictions and stuff, I hope this is going to be kind of crazy and fascinating, because I really have been going crazy thinking about what the endless are. But I but yeah, no, she was very interesting, and then going into, she was so adamant about what, and I ain't never, and I don't know about you, but I ain't never seen one of those damn collector things or whatever get tore to pieces. Like they completely split up that that little spark thing, but like,
Oh
and she was
yeah,
just,
yeah,
you're
yo.
like, damn. I was like, yo, that they are playing. And right then when I seen that, I said, no, they up to doing some no good. I don't even know what's happening here. Because I ain't never seen one of them damn things get caught up, those collectors or whatever. What'd you call them again? I forgot.
Monitors.
What'd you call them? Monitors get tore up like that. And then, and then, so that also just gives even more information and lore to it, because of, like, so if you break some of them things up, then you can get information and locations. So they're basically a map. So that was pretty interesting. I never knew that. So I there's just so much fascination behind the new character, which also brings more to the story. And again, like, if you listen to a lot of those, because I haven't listened to all of them, I still got a few more to catch up on. Not that many more, but those things you listen to throughout the game. I still have a few more. I think I got all the banished ones though, but I still need some more of the UNC, USNC or whatever. We still need some more of those and prisoners, but that she has these powers and abilities, and all I know so far is that they hate the Forerunners.
Dude, yeah,
So
I got
that's
real
nuts.
real quick.
Like,
I just want to throw in, because I've been trying to think about like who she is, like her species and stuff like that, and my biggest thing is like her species is an enemy of the Forerunners. So when it comes down to it, if at a certain point in time, like Forerunners decided that the humans would take the mantle, her and her species would be like, no, no, that's not. They kind of like go against the Forerunners per se. Now, when the Forerunners were preserving species, they were preserving pretty much every type of species for in case the Halo ring was ever triggered. Kind of put it back out there into the world and let it kind of like grow again and stuff like that. But that was my theory on who she was. It's just kind of like when the Forerunners were around, that was kind of like a rival species to them. It was a species that they just did not get along with.
I'm just gonna say it. What I think, I'm just gonna say it. Let's not let's just get to it.
Oh,
I
shit.
think what the Fallen is, the precursors. I think that's what they are.
The Endless.
Yes, I
The
think that's what
precursors.
they are.
I think
The
so too.
precursors. I think that's what they are, and I think, and I don't, if you've seen the ending on Legendary, the Forerunners were about some bullshit. Because I mean, now, if the Forerunners seem to be scared of them to a degree to where they locked them up, because then the old girl said, well, look, they're looking for our help. So are we going to help them? He says, nah, we ain't going to help them. We're going to trap their ass. This is and then by the time when people even dare to even, when history is gone, they will not even know of this race anymore. So I think the one thing that we have not seen in a Halo game yet is a precursor. So I think that's what it is. I think that's what they are.
Well, kind of building off that, and
Right.
Lethal Terminus, is talking to Eric. Good to see people, talking to each other in the chat. That's pretty much what the show is about.
They are new.
Kind of go.
The endless is new.
Talk amongst yourselves about what you think is going on as well, because we are
Sir
reading the chat.
Said something in the chat too.
Yo, Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat, bro. He says, "Hey, this is Wednesday. What the fuck?" Yeah. Bro, this is the next podcast. I will let you know. This is, as you can see from the top left-hand corner, this is a spoiler cast for the Halo Infinite campaign. So just to let you know, bro, we are getting into the Halo campaign, kind of like what happened in it and such. So if you didn't beat the game and you're gonna hang around here, you're gonna get spoilers. I just want to let you know that we are really kind of going in depth and talking about what happened, and we're theorizing where the story is going, for the content they're gonna be dropping, over time when it comes to the story. So, be warned.
Let's
If you didn't
get
get too
into that
far,
for a minute too. I
what
want to get
happened?
into that too.
In what?
Like Bot just said, like how they're gonna go forward the story. Do you think they're gonna do DLC for this?
Yeah. This is like Destiny. Yeah, this
Or
is
we're
why I
gonna
said
wait
this is
until
like Destiny.
and like I don't think they've ever announced that though.
Oh no, they said it. They said
Did they?
They said that the next thing is coming next year. The next story.
Okay, so we ain't have to wait fucking 3 or 4 years for another fucking Halo.
No. Yeah,
Cool.
That's the whole reason for this new engine.
The Infinite,
Yeah, and when and one thing that I noticed, because I was trying to do it last night, because remember, when I told you got mad at me, I said, "Oh man, there's a fallen Guardian out there," and I'm like, "Man, I'm gonna try to get to it. You can't get to it." So so I think also, it's still sectioned off and it's blocked, even though as big as the world is from where you play.
Yeah, because like the whole northern half of the map and that section you have to actually fly to almost.
You can't even get there. You
can fly there. You could there's a section because there's a skull there, I think, and there's an enemy you got to kill.
Are you talking about the bounty, where the bounty hunter, where that bounty hunter is in the corner? Okay, yeah, you go there, but there's other places that.
But there's nothing else there. There's nothing else up there.
Oh, there has to be a skull there. But no, I'm talking I'm talking about further out. When you look out there, there's a Guardian that fell down that's way out there. You look at the map, you pull the map out, you I don't know if you can see it on the map, but there's like 4 other sections that you can't get to within the game. It's all blocked, because I tried to fly over to try to get to them, and then the game's like, no, you better take your ass back, or this wasp is going to blow up. So and then I tried it in the Banshee, and the Banshee was like, no, don't even try it. That's not going to work either. So basically, there's going to be more. So you'll probably get the different looking environments where there probably is snow and desert and stuff like that.
You saw the
I
end.
think this is just the beginning of it.
You saw the end where Master Chief was standing there with kind of like the statue
like
structures of the rings. That was a desert right there. So for people who are hoping for different biomes and such, they will be in the game. I wasn't too like I wasn't really upset that there was that, kind of like that evergreen forest biome, and that was pretty much what was there for the kind of like open world section of the game, because I feel like the contrast between that and then going into the missions and going underground into the Forerunner structures. The Forerunner structures look absolutely incredible. I think 343 did an absolutely amazing job of blending the old school Forerunner look and the Halo 5 Forerunner look, with having it kind of like, having it shiny, having the reflections and stuff like that. I think they blended both of those in perfectly. I don't think they could have done a better job of doing that to kind of like make both groups within the community happy. And the thing is, I don't see anybody complaining about
Nobody that complain about it.
the
Yeah,
Forerunner
no.
structures at all. Like they did an
Mm-mm.
incredible job with that. I was just there was times I was just like looking around at everything underground, like inside the Forerunner structures and stuff, and it really kind of like most of it has that silver / metal kind of like metallic look to it, but they highlight it with some gold in there at certain points in time, like, and then the lighting that's down there and how the lighting kind of like bounces off the walls and the structures and everything. It looks, man, it looks absolutely beautiful in
Yeah.
those areas, man. I am a huge fan of what they did with that.
Another level that was absolutely, it was horrifying, but it was beautiful at the same time, is when you was in the torture chamber area to fight that crazy ass elite that was torturing all the humans.
The one with the one sword, right? The one kind of like earlier in the
yeah, right, like earlier off in the game. Yeah, like that, with the smoke and and just that dark red, aura, and just the lighting, and it was just ominous, and just, you could just tell that wasn't a place that I needed to have my ass in. I didn't want to be there, but I'm like, I gotta kill. But I love that. I thought that was a really beautiful stage, even as morbid as it looked. There was times in the game that looked absolutely beautiful, and then there was times that it looked absolutely mid. You know what I'm saying? That's how it looked. That's, and there was something like, I'm like, oh, this don't look too high. And then there was times when I'd turn around and go, and then when the sun would be setting and it's getting ready to do the transition to night, and then the light gleams off of the side of the ring, and then it's just this whole, I'm like, oh man. So if anything, people don't have to worry about, the skybox was gorgeous. Like they did some really great work there. There was just some areas that did look really pretty mid, though. Like, especially if you was one of them grass hunters, there would be some things that didn't look very, very appealing at all. But
there was some things like off in the distance, how the trees didn't cast shadows really made it kind of look off when you look out into the distance and stuff like that. But I have a feeling that the reason for that was their global illumination kind of like solution when it came to that, because I believe they were absolutely planning on ray tracing when it came to this, and when they saw that it wasn't going to be ready, they had to put something into place there. You know what I'm saying? And I think this was the best solution they had for the time that they had. And we'll see down the line, because again, this game is gonna be evolving, it's gonna be updating, and we'll see what they do in terms of upgrading, kind of like that illumination engine, and see what they're gonna do with that. But man, when they get more into the mission type levels, and I gotta say, one of my absolute favorite missions in Halo, period, the Halo franchise, period, is in Infinite, and it is the mission called The Reckoning, where you're in what they call the House of the Reckoning, because it really shows why the Banish are so tough. It's not just, they're not just living off emotion. They literally
Strange, yeah.
has set up these training facilities, and they would capture these Spartans, and they would have them in there, and they would have them fight for their lives, and they would basically take down, record, and kind of get like the whole feel of what the Spartans did to train. That right there, that shows a formidable enemy. When that enemy knows the moves you're gonna make before you make them, that shows like the Banish are they are nobody to be fucked with, man, because they will research the crap out of you. They will know your ins and outs. They will know your training. They will know what you do in every situation, and be prepared to counteract what you do for any situation. Yo, the House of the Reckoning, that is one of my favorite missions. Guys, I gotta ask you, out of all the missions, do you have a favorite in this game?
Wait on Pred, see what his favorite mission was.
My favorite mission,
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. I don't know if I had one. I think I got more enjoyment just going around killing the bosses. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I got more enjoyment out of going out and clearing out those areas and stuff like that throughout the game because
Oh, the mini bosses
again,
and the bases
yeah,
and
the
stuff
mini
like that.
it's like
Okay.
this like because they were so they're all different. They all had something different to them. It wasn't just like go in this structure, kill this person, blow up these little tanks. It was like the bosses to me were my favorite part of the whole game. Like I like going in there and just killing those guys because there was always, they could be on a fucking ghost. They can have a sword. They can. There was always something different with them. And I hate that I could not hear the dialogue because I'm pretty sure there's some amazing stuff in that too. But like that to me, it wasn't a mission because like all the missions to me seem kind of similar. Like you go in a structure, you go down, you kill things, you come up. Like you plug in the weapon, she tells you a story, and then you come out. Like those, that wasn't really exciting. It was kind of like repetitive, but like flying around, get into the structures I need to get to, kill on structure, but like getting to the area I need to get to kill those bosses because I felt like I was getting rewarded for it after the fact. Um, whether it was like a skin or something like that. But there was one, I think the spirit, like spires, however the
The
fuck you want to say
spire.
that. Yeah,
Fire.
those missions seem pretty cool. I like that. Like again, the same rinse and repeat. Go in, put the girl down, fucking walk out. But like, um, they all offered a different challenge to each one that I did.
Mm.
So that whole section was pretty cool to me. I like doing that. But
N- nice, bro. So again, K Mega could not hold it in. He thinks that the endless are the precursors, and just to let people know,
Well, let me give me my favorite one first. Before we get to the precursors, or suppose it. But it's two. One is the one where where I fought because I did like on the spear. I like fighting that little damn robot because he would talk crazy shit. And he was just like, "Oh, you dirtied up this place. You
yeah,
dirty." Yeah, he had me cracking up.
dude,
I
the
was like,
dialogue
"Yeah,
is amazing in
yeah." The
this game.
dialogue is crazy. He had me cracking up. So
We just
that
got
was
Pred
just
so jelly, by the way, for like just talking about all this dialogue
oh
that he
yeah,
missed out on.
because he was cracking me up because every time I was like, "You filthy being," he was clowning. But was there was and I agree with Pred. Like I love the bounties. The bounties was just great. It reminded me of Assassin's Creed. Like when you go out and you're looking for the cult of Cosmos or whatever the hell they're called. That's what kind of reminded me of that. I really enjoyed that. But it was fighting Escheron because that was so deep and so challenging. And it made me think for a second, hold on a minute. Like, okay, so like the fight was so intense. Well, I don't think anything was as intense as the last fighting that damn chieftain. At the very end, I ran for my fucking life. But anyway, but fighting Escheron, and then the fight was so intense and so good for both warriors that Chief showed like the weapon didn't even understand. Like Chief showed him compassion. He held him while he was dying. And then dude was like dude knew he was dying. He knew he was old and he was on his last days. But he wanted to fight. And just think about this for a second, right? And I see people in the chat over here trying to, make points about, well, Chief got these abilities. Chief's just going, minute. Chief just fought about a 200-400-year-old brute at the end of his days, dying and almost died, almost got his ass kicked. Think about that for a second, Chief. When you beat that game, you running for your life. I don't care if on easy. I'm pretty sure it might be easy, but even on I was playing on heroic, and it was hell because he kept coming. And then when you beat him out of that, then he comes out and then he brings out this, not a hammer, but a blade hammer. And he is not, man, I was running my ass off. But to get him to get to that point, and then Chief holds him, and then when Chief explains to the weapon, he's a soldier.
He's a soldier.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a soldier just like me. He died with honor. You know what I'm saying? He didn't try to cheat me. He just wanted to fight. And even though he put him through the ringer, through the reckoning, through that training course, but just when he got there was no extra enemies and shit like you normally see at other bosses. It was just him and Chief. Mm-hmm. And that to me was powerful as hell because Chief had to give him his respect and hold him while he died, and then goes to the point of this is soldier, this is how he goes out. That dude was old as shit, and he almost fucked him up. So what do you think with a young Atriox? People are like, yeah, he mopped the floor because Atriox is, man, and I know I keep bringing up Halo Wars too. He fought 3 or 4 Spartans at one time. He told everybody to back up. I want to fight the demons. And he beat their ass. He broke arms, and I think he killed one. He broke arms, beat them all, and then he says, "Yes, run, little demons." So. No, Chief ain't go. And Chief knows how serious he is because Chief said himself. And
that was the beginning of Halo Wars 2.
But that was in the beginning of Halo Wars 2. And he said, and just like what Chief said, he says, "Oh yeah, I met him." He says, and he beat.
He beat me. What do you say? Surgically. Brutally. Yeah.
When have you ever heard Chief sound that defeated? That shit to me, that's why I love what 343 does. They humanize him. When I would say that, I was like, this is why I love 343. This is why 343 is king. Because they are humanizing one of the baddest beings in video game history. And they humanizing them and make him say, oh man, there's something out there that is this dude he tactically beat him. And then what was so crazy, it was it didn't look tactical, but it was because Chief was all right, I'll put these hands on you and I'll give you a high you get uppercut.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I saw that. Yeah.
And then I said, no, stop that shit. And he said, I'm not even going to hit you hard with my hand. I'm going to just tap you. And then I'm going to drag your heavy ass out and hold you by the throat. He could have killed Chief right then and there, but he didn't. So think about that for a second before people start singing, oh, he got these abilities now. Yeah, those abilities for him to run and fight for his life. And so if he beat that, so that was my favorite part of the game, fight-wise, between him and Escharum, because of the respect that both opponents had for one another. And I don't know, man. I just makes me even more excited for what else that they're going to be doing coming here. So
nice. Well, speaking of what they're going to be doing, man. Again, we're hearing the talk of the Endless now. Again, K Mega couldn't hold it in. He thinks it's the precursors. And the funny thing about that is, I'm actually in the same boat with you on that one because
nice.
If you look at what they showed in terms of, again, those plates that are preserving the species, if you look at those plates, it didn't really look it didn't have a humanoid look to it. It was a round circle, kind of looked like it had kind of stuff kind of coming off on the sides or whatnot. If you look into the lore of what the precursors, first off, they're huge. Absolutely huge beings, but they do have a rounded look to them. When it comes to, I don't know if you want to say legs, tentacles, or whatnot. It's been a while since I looked up the precursors. I'm gonna let you guys know that right now, but I do remember kind of vague memory of what they look like, and a lot of my research was done kind of before Halo 5, because you see the Guardian pop up in the first promo to that, and you're like, what the hell is that? And then people are kind of speculating, oh, that's Mendicant Bias, which is Forerunner, kind of ultra smart AI. And there is an
yeah. Did you see that picture of it that was supposed to be in the game, but they took it out? or whatever. That's the rumor.
with
Bias,
the three lights.
the
Yeah,
three eye. Yeah,
yeah.
It's huge. Yeah.
And there
Go ahead.
is one of the Forerunners AIs that is supposed to activate and awaken if the Endless ever got free as well. That's in the end of the story. I think that was in the end of the legendary ending where they're talking about, if they do ever escape. I forgot. Begins with a C. I forgot its name right now. So like when you see kind of like Atriox trying to get to the Endless and awaken him, of course with the Harbinger of Truth, and you don't know what the Harbinger is telling Atriox and the rest of the Banished in terms of what the Endless is. You don't know if she like had her own motivation and she was just using the Banished as a tool to get to the, telling them, yeah, no, you let these things out and you can direct them and tell them where to go. I don't think that's going to be it, because when the Flood was released, they're saying that the Endless is worse than the Flood. When the Flood was released, there's nobody controlling the Flood except for the Flood, the Grave Mind, Hive Mind, and that's it. Like there was nobody could control that. So I don't think anybody's going to be able to control the Endless.
Well, no, because the I'm calling them precursors. What they are is pretty much a bigger being of the Flood.
No, they are the supposedly they are the creators.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you look at them, they look like the Flood. So but this tiny version of them. Like that's what I'm saying. Like so like pretty much think of like some kind of creature that could spit out a flood or something, because that's
I'm
because
looking up pictures right now just to
refresh. People go look up the precursors. They look flood-ish, but they're just bigger, and they look like they just look like big old damn flood beings. And
okay, so I got the picture up right here.
Yeah,
dude, they are absolutely huge in comparison to a Spartan.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm just gonna grab the link and put it in the chat for people who might never have seen them before. So let me just put this in here. You guys feel free to see what I'm sharing as well. Oh, hold on. It's not. Oh, too big of a link.
Okay, well let me go ahead. Let me see if I can put a link in here and then see if I can put it in there.
I'm deleting that, trying to find a smaller one.
I found it. It's in there. Okay, so people go check out that link.
You'll get to see it. What you put up too.
yeah. Like it doesn't show them how big they are, but it also gives you some lore behind them as well. But that's what I'm saying.
What? Hold on. Halo Alpha, because that looks different. Hold on, let me put in our chat on Twitter real quick. I'm gonna put go over to RDM and check the Halo precursor, because that picture actually came out before Halo 5.
Yeah, I know.
And that thing is huge. And it shows the scale. It shows the shadow of a Spartan next to it.
Well, yeah, but you can't see from this picture how big these things are, but that's when you get to understand that this thing
it looks crazy.
It looks like a flood. Like look like a big version of a flood creature. But that's the thing of it. Yeah. So and I agree with Terminus, and that's what I'm thinking too. But you also forget that there's going to be shit going on with time. So these things, because the flood doesn't seem like it has any only thing it does is it attaches to its host. These things are going to be smart, powerful, and they're also going to, I think, have I know, whatever these damn things are, the Endless / what I say is precursor, is going to have the skills to go through time. And so now Atriox has that power to go through time, which gives all these type of thoughts of maybe thinking about some kind of so if you think about like the Spider-Man that's going to be coming out here Friday, like the metaverse shit, like there could be a whole bunch of shit that could happen before it all ends, where maybe Atriox overall is going to try to bring back his homeland or stop stop, maybe Atriox could go back in time and try to kill Chief and Halsey before before Chief even becomes that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole bunch of scenarios that could happen out of it. But I also am agreeing with Terminus is that I think that when he does unleash it, he thinks that he might can reason with them or
Control them.
maybe try to control them with maybe having the power to go through time and shit, and then realize these things are on a whole nother level. Like, you can't fuck with these things. Like, yeah, you can't. Nobody can handle the flood. What makes you think you're going to handle these things? You know what I'm saying? It's not even going to be close. So there's a lot of possibilities going on here. But the only thing I know is that these things deal with time travel and shit like that. So there's a whole bunch of crazy shit going to be happening with Halo.
Check this out, Mega and Pred, because when it comes to the precursors, for people who don't know, the precursors are the ones who supposedly, this is in Halo lore, gave the mantle to the Forerunners.
Right.
All right.
And the Forerunners gave it to the humans. But then there was a problem.
Now check this out.
They didn't want,
Check this out, because you went and checked out the legendary ending where they talked about, they, for our help, and no, we're gonna trap them. What if the Forerunners weren't given the mantle, but they
stole it?
They took it.
The Forerunners are going to, and that's why I think the human race is going to be in more peril because the Forerunners gave the mantle to humanity, and the Precursors like, no, fuck that. We didn't give the permission. We are the original. We're the ones, because remember, the Harbinger of Truth said that's the reason why her name is the Harbinger of Truth, because that's why I think that she is kind of like the guardian of the Endless to tell the truth about these beings.
And that's what the Monitors did in the first Halo trilogy.
Yes.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yes, and that's why it's all coming. It's going to be coming. It's all going to come. That's why I'm saying it has to be the precursors. The Endless has to be the precursors. And the whole point of the matter is that the Forerunners could not defeat the precursors on their own. So or without manipulating them. So that's why they trapped them and put them on that special Zato ring, that Halo ring, and now all hell's going to break loose. So. It's crazy. It's great. It's crazy.
Mega. Again, we are not too far off.
This is just my theory. So, if anybody disagrees with me and have a different theory, please go ahead. But that's just my thought of what I think is going to be set up. And so that's where it goes into where I was, because I thought the flood's going to come back, which I think the flood will come back at some point on top of this, but. That's why I say Chief can't do this shit alone. Like, if you got something that's worse than the flood that's about to be awakened by Atriox, you got to have all hands on deck.
I think Lethal is kind of agreeing on that whole Forerunners kind of took the mantle here,
So you think so? Yeah.
He says, well, the precursor created the mantle of responsibility. They created it.
Yeah.
And Harbinger said the Forerunners' lies are at an end and that humanity is not the future.
Well, and what she tell Chief, you are not the future. So that is, so who is the future? So that's the whole point of it.
They didn't want to hand over the mantle yet. They
weren't ready. And and so now they're ready to come back for the crown. So it's.
I'm getting pumped. I'm getting pumped, brother. Getting pumped.
But this is the whole thing. He said he says I wasn't expecting this shit to go to 3 hours. It wasn't. It's only been what, an hour and a half? How long has it been?
We started. It's actually going on 2 hours. We are going to wind.
Oh, okay.
We're
okay. All right.
I still got to eat dinner.
Does any of this stuff make any sense to you, brother, at all?
Yeah, that's why I'm shutting the fuck up and listening to you guys talk.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I just think that it's but no, that why not bring the precursors back? We've never seen them in the game. It makes perfect sense.
Back.
They could, but but to bring back a new species, why can't be a new species that's been old that nobody knew about? Like that's just my whole theory about it. Like I'm just like this harbinger is and which would be also cool is that like if the precursors are looking like what the pictures we see, what if they have an army of what the harbinger of truth look like? And we got to fight them on top of their army. And like, I just think the setup would be perfect. I don't, you know, like I said, this is all theory. And I know, and I said it was going to be wild, but it just makes so much sense to me that in order for you to make a game to last for 10 years, and to have so many different deep scenarios, you're gonna have to dig deep into that Halo lore more than you've ever had before. And why not bring the precursors to sit there to make this shit go full circle, and to, as I said before, to have Chief go out like the ultimate G, like he should. Or to be, or just to go to, because listen, if you got, because these things, because one thing we do know that's for certain is that these beings knows how to control time. What would be the perfect scenario is the Chief to sit there and to get Cortana back, to go back in time and save Cortana before Cortana went rogue, and then that's it. Like just
like he's supposed to.
Or delete her like he's supposed to, or go into the consulate, go into some kind of thing to talk to Halsey and say, look, I'll protect her this time. Let me into the system where she is, and I'll make sure that she'll have her partner forever. Or something of that sort, to where they both go out together without, you know what I'm saying, where nobody has to worry about Cortana ever again, because there's definitely going to be some time shit going on to where things are going to go back to the past, to the front, to the middle, and it's going to touch on all types of things. They might even go back and take it to Reach, because that's probably where Atriox will probably go to. Because remember, at the end of Reach, that was what it was all about, to get to bring Cortana to Master Chief, or to Halsey. So, I mean, not to Halsey, but to Master Chief. So that's when they gave Cortana the keys. So if, let's say, Atriox goes back in time and say, fuck Cortana, I got this, fuck off. There won't be a Master Chief if it ain't for, because like Cortana said in the game, she said, you know, this is why I chose you, because of your strength, this, that, and then luck. Mm-hmm. And if Atriox goes back in time and goes back to Reach and blows up that, you know, or kills everybody and destroys Cortana, or blows up keys in them, then you really don't have a Chief. Because that combination between Chief and Cortana, I mean, Chief would be a badass, but Cortana has helped Chief to be what he is. You see what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think.
Yo, I want to shout out Lethal real quick. It said the only thing wrong with the precursor theory is that the precursors created the mantle to give it to other races, not their own race. And I understand you, but can just Lethal, put it in the perspective of they weren't ready to give it to anybody yet.
They weren't ready
the
to give it to anybody.
Took it and trapped them. You see what I'm saying? If that is the case, I think that kind of leaves the door open
and
in that aspect.
Right, and also, Lethal, what would be? Remember the part in the game where they said these beings at the end of the legendary part, where they said even the rings can't kill them. Who's powerful is that? I mean, just think about that. Like, the rings can't kill the precursors. That's the only being that I could think of. What other being is there out there that's powerful enough to take the power of the ring and not die once it shoots off? And so that's why, to me, it's not about like, yeah, they passed the mantle, but did they really? That's why it goes back to the point I'm saying about the harbinger of truth. You don't have a name like that unless you have a reason to say, look, there's some truth, there's some lies and deception been going on. And you motherfuckers about to learn today. That's why I'm here. And I'm about to learn today. You're going to learn today the real OGs is here. And I'm going to bring them back. And so it just makes perfect sense. The Forerunners were frauds. That's what it basically just. The Forerunners were frauds. Humanity is not the future. Read between the lines. That's what you do. Oh my goodness. I'm getting excited and just hoping I'm close to being right. But we'll see.
I'll definitely be playing Halo tonight, man. After all this, for real. Now, Pred, when it comes down to it, you've gone on record before on the next podcast and stuff. When it comes to the lore, you might not be as like in it as kind of like me and K Mega, but what do you have any theories going forward here with what we've seen, kind of like from the ending that we've seen so far with Halo Infinite? Really, Pred?
You asked me or can't make that question?
No, I'm asking you. K Mega, you had enough mic time for that, man. Come on,
I did.
Man.
I did. I talked too damn much.
Well, y'all have more experience with the lore of the game than I do, so it's really hard for me to kind of top that. But the ending, did you discuss the ending, or did you just leave everybody at a cliffhanger on that?
What do you mean? What say what I didn't say.
Credit.
Oh, with Atriox.
Yeah.
Yeah, well that's one thing we didn't say. I'm just gonna throw it on there real quick. The entire time, I believe the Banished thought Atriox was dead.
Dead, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were doing it for the memory of Atriox. That gave them even more passion than losing their homeworld, than everything else. Their honor, their base of honor in their culture and stuff like that. On top of all that, they thought that their absolute leader had died, and they're doing it for him, for his memory, for his vision as well. Man, they are a passionate group that you're up against, yo. But yeah, no, Pred, let people know what happened, and again, when it comes to theories, man, if you have any, now's the time, bro.
Well, I mean, there was a cutscene at the end that showed Atriox, still alive, and that's what I was kind of alluding to. But
opening the door to the endless, I believe.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking the question earlier. Do you guys think there's going to be more like DLC? It's going to add to the more story to this?
Oh yeah,
because typically we don't get that from Halo. It's just the main story and then multiplayer. So I do think there'll be more. I'm hoping they add some more DLC sooner than later. I don't want to wait fucking 2 years for another Halo, or at least the continuation of the story. And I think maybe that's why the world seems so the biome was just that biome, because I think they're going to add more to it later. And so the word infinite means forever, so I could see them continuously adding on to this game to complete the story. So that's what I think the last cutscene basically was kind of signifying, like there's more to this that you guys don't know about, and we're going to bring it out later. But with us who've played, there's still people out there who haven't beat the game. So, but with us who've played, and like you guys are huge on the lore and everything like that of the game, so you guys know more than I do. But there's a lot more story to be told here, right? So, I think the way the game ended was basically this is set up to the next DLC or the next game. So, but there's a lot left to be desired here. There's a lot of meat on that bone that we haven't seen.
Now, Pred, I gotta ask you, because this is a totally new way for a Halo game to go about things, because we're used to getting that Halo story, and then kind of like waiting for the sequel. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about what they're doing here, knowing that they're going to be coming out? And I hear DLC a lot, and I don't think, and I hear people kind of like comparing it to Destiny 2. I think there's going to be more, because Destiny 2, when it comes down to it, it's all about the end game. It's all about like the raids and stuff like that. People, I do like the story. I get into the story. But I've noticed when the DLC comes out, and I think K Mega can kind of co-sign on this. Like when the Osiris came out, it was a short story. When Warmind came out, it was a short story. It did continue the overlying art, but I believe that when they do come out with the next part of the story for Halo, it's not going to be comparative to Destiny 2. I think it's going to be a bigger story, a bigger narrative, a longer.
Oh, just think Hive Busters. How long was that?
I don't know. I was one of those people
We're
who
supposed
didn't
to be
beat
renewed
Hive
them.
Busters, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, no, I don't think that. I think every story will probably be around 6 to 10
6 to 8
hours.
hours, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
So,
yes. I say 6 to 10 because I mean,
yeah,
if you're going to do the open world thing, it could go to to maybe to
20.
to 20 hours, right?
it
Like
depends on
because
how
I
big
mean,
they make it too. It depends on how big they make it
right,
and how many they're gonna make. But I mean,
right.
I can see easily 8 hours just on the average. Uh,
Mhm.
but again, that's if they do it and when it's coming out. Like if it's just
There's no if
Infinite.
they already
Yeah,
said
I
it's
mean,
coming
I'm
out
just saying. I know
2022.
there's no
Oh,
if.
oh
Like we
yeah,
know there's gonna be more to this game, but like how they're gonna do it
yeah.
is it gonna be Halo Infinite 2, or is it gonna be Halo Infinite DLC? Halo Infinite fucking
Halo Infinite Rise of
snack
Atriox
snack
or something
candies.
like that.
Like
Like
yeah, something like
Well, I
that.
think
And
that they're
so
going to tell side stories first to kind of tell
yeah,
where Blue Team is, where Team Osiris is,
and then tie it in later.
yeah, Noble Six. What about the rest of the Spartans that are alive? And then they'll probably at the at probably at an E3 showing they'll show here coming in at the beginning of 2023 or some shit like that. The first quarter of 2023 will you'll go back to Chief and do something else or whatever. That's how I think that it could happen, but I don't know. I'm sorry, Brett, go
so
ahead.
Pred, what do you think about the potential structure here? Do you think is this something that you're interested in where you know there I mean there's a really good chance we're not waiting 3-4 years for a full blown sequel. It's kind of like the story will keep evolving. Whether it's next year or maybe like early on the year after that. But we're not going to be waiting so long, and they're going to continue. So, do you like where they're going with uh, the franchise going this way, Pred?
He's got
I'm
that
sorry,
muted.
on the phone. What'd you say?
Oh, it's okay. No, I asked like with the potential here on how they're delivering content or whatnot. It's a far departure from your traditional kind of like Halo and waiting for a sequel and stuff like that. Do you like the potential of what's going on here? How they have this structured, kind of like moving
Yeah,
forward?
because I mean, we get Halo faster. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
how long was it between Halo 5 and Infinite?
6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, and we don't want that again. So,
Mm-mm.
and it also gives them opportunity to kind of tweak the multiplayer and do things with that too and add stuff to it. But which I'm sure they'll continue to do.
Oh
But
yeah.
the story aspect of the game, I mean, yeah, I don't want to wait 6 years again for another Halo. Like, give me something like every 2 or 3 years, and we're okay. But like even like DLC every 2 years, every year will be better. But I can deal with at least every 2 years. But 6 years, man, that's a long time for your big franchise. Now I know they kind of mixed in the past. They would mix in some other Halo franchises, and um, but they really haven't done anything with Halo since 5, right? Like,
Yeah. No, you're
correct me if I'm
right.
wrong, but before that, like we were getting a Halo like every 2 years, whether
Well,
it was
after
like
Halo 5, I mean, they did the RTS, they did Halo Wars too.
yeah,
But
I mean, K-Man doesn't matter, but I won't count that. But like the traditional Halo, like
yeah.
you would get one, two, this little spin off, that little spin off, and three, four, like so there was always something in between there. And even I don't count the top down ones either, but even those were in there too. But like I really think like they can do a great spin off of Aatrox just as character and the Banish, just that's that set and kind of tie in how we got to this point. But I don't know if they'll do that. But because it seems like it's more ambitious than that story right now. It seems like it's the tie into that story is going to come based off of how they tell the next DLC for Infinite.
Mm.
Will all that will eventually work itself together. So I'm not really worried about that aspect of the storytelling. I think it'll figure itself out. But I mean, as long as it's not like another 4 years, 6 years that we're waiting for, some more DLC or sequel to this, then we're good. But I think they set themselves up right where they can actually do it every year or two, because it seems like, from everything I've read, they left a lot out of this game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an easy fix. You can just add it now. So it has a
Mhm.
DLC and people pay for it. So um, I'm okay with the way the approach they're taking right now. And maybe it's because I got in Game Pass. I had to spend $70 or $60 on it, so I'm okay with it. But yeah, I mean, I think they did it good. If this is what their plan is to kind of do this and do DLC every year or so, to add to it, I don't want to say the Destiny model, but like if that's what they do, I'm sure fans will be happy. They're gonna have something to do.
Okay. All right, I got you, bro. And I got to bring this over to K Mac. I got to ask you the same question, man. This is
All right.
a big departure from what we've known to be Halo and how the content is structured, man. How do you think it's going? Are you excited for this, or are you wishing for the old days back, bro?
No, this is what I mean. This is kind of like how the market is going, and this is kind of like what today's gamer is like. And we kind of want our content yesterday. So if you give this if you gave this showing and then we had to wait another 4 years, then it would be disappointing. Just to say the least, in the sense of I put more hours into this Halo story than I've ever done into any one in one sitting, or not one sitting, but one to get to the end of the story. But if this was something that we had to wait for like what Prey was saying, 4 to 5 years, then no, that would be disappointing, because then I could see why somebody would say, well, I need more information in order for me to get to the next 5 years. So that's why I knew that when they confirmed that they were going to be bringing in DLC, this was that they're not doing the numbers thing anymore. This is just going to be how they're going to structure Halo from going forward. Yeah, this is this is perfect. So what this reminds me of, since I've been playing it, is kind of like I was saying before, was the Assassin's Creeds, the newer ones. Like, this is kind of like what Assassin's Creed did. Like, they went from being the old traditional way, and Bot, I know that you hate me saying that, to more enjoyable,
Oh,
more
I'm ignoring you
fun.
right now. I'm straight ignoring you right now. I'm not hearing
This
it. I'm
greatness.
not
I
hearing
can't.
it.
Oh man, I just see my girl Cassandra's coming back, and they're
Who?
gonna be, and so now Cassandra from
Yeah,
from the wonderful Assassin's
I,
Creed
I,
Odyssey.
I know I asked that question, but I wasn't even
Okay.
asking for an answer there. Like,
But that's what this Halo is reminding me of, and then they just keep adding layers upon other layers and other layers. Then for somebody who kind of comes in late, then this is going to be hundreds of hours of just entertainment. And
wow,
so,
that's a great point.
like kind of like how Destiny, how they do it. Like, if somebody is late to the party for Destiny, they got all those DLCs, the multiplayer, and
Well, they
all
better
of that.
streamline it better than Bungie does with Destiny, though, because I've had so many people get at me like, "Oh, I don't know where to go," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. They made it really bad to continue stories in Destiny."
Well, yeah. No, the Destiny, I think I might be totally. I'm going to get this last one, and then I'll be done.
That
So
one
I
that
just
one looks
think
so good too. Oh,
it looks good, but I mean, I'm talking about, like, for the multiplayer, just playing through it wise. Because it's just too difficult to try to get to pack up with people to play like that. But so Halo will be probably my new Destiny, I guess. But I'm definitely looking forward to how they're going to do it. It is definitely going to be different, but it's going to be similar in other ways. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't see how any gamer would be disappointed of getting more Halo content. We've been asking for a lot of side stories, better missions. I mean, if that's one of the big knocks for Halo 5 about Team Osiris, is that they didn't get enough of a backstory. So now you can give them a backstory. You can give Noble Six their time. You can give Blue Team their due. So they're just a Team Taurus. Well, you know what? That's the question I need to go, because I need not everybody from Team Taurus got wiped, right? I know that some did, but did all the Team Taurus get wiped out? Because like I said, I haven't listened to every one of the human audio logs.
yeah, I haven't listened to
But
everyone either, so
but
I'm not
haven't
sure.
they
listened.
were getting, but boy,
You
they
can
were
ask
getting
Lethal in
taken
the
out.
chat. Lethal
So
will let you know.
Yeah, so Lethal, let me know because I know that because I was listening, I was like, damn, they're falling like flies. So because not only they got taken out on the Rivi or whatever that ship was where they were at, but they were getting taken out there too. So I'm thinking if there's anything that there's still maybe a few still around. But yeah, but I want to know more about Team Tars and then we got to find out what's happening with Red Team. So and how they get back into the fight because they're definitely going to help out too. So yeah, this should be the DLCs to bring all of what's going on and what these other teams is doing, and then have Chief come back probably at the end of the year or somewhere or maybe in 2023 and then the not the HDR but the ray tracing and all the polish and bells and whistles and different environments and everything else could be ready for Chief again. So and I would love that. I would welcome that. So
Yo, Lethal in the chat said more or less all of them got wiped out. You know what that means? You know what that means? K-Mega, he said more or less. That means there's a chance.
There is a chance. But man, they were getting
man, I gotta hop off of here, man.
All right, Fred.
All right,
right,
I'll get with y'all tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Podcast.
We have a show tomorrow, man. Yo, K-Mega, I think we need to wind this down. We didn't even really talk about the pilot, but we'll leave that for possibly another time because I gotta say the introduction of that character is awesome as well. Just to have another character there to kind of like to care about, you know what I'm saying? And his
well, I didn't care about him. He was getting on my damn nerves. I was like, man, shut your bitch ass up, man.
Once you found out why that he's not really trained for all that shit. Like,
yeah. Like he wasn't even a pilot. Like he was just like, bro, I'm just trying to.
I was trying to get the hell out of here, man. Like I found this pelican.
I was just trying to get to my family.
Yeah.
So that was good. Now the one thing I will say before we go is, I loved. I love the Reckoning too. I thought the Reckoning was probably one of the best Halo missions out there.
Dude, just the storytelling visually in House of the Reckoning was incredible.
But to fight Jaga or Jura,
he was
I think
pain
his
in
name,
the
whatever.
ass.
He was
pain in the
blade.
ass.
Yeah, the blade master, bro.
He was a bigger pain in the ass for me than Escharon was. Like honestly, he was a bigger pain in the ass for me.
The biggest pain in the ass for me was that fucking chieftain at the end that was protecting the Harbinger of Truth. That dude had me getting it. Now, I mean, I died many times, but that dude jumped the length of a football field. He jumped 100 yards to get you. And then you could be looking around, zip lining, thinking he's running you.
He's right
down.
there. Right there.
And I'm just running for my life. I'm not even trying to shoot him. I'm just trying to live. And then he got others. So yeah, that was pretty intense. But
the story with the battle with Escharon was absolutely fantastic. But in terms of difficulty, that elite Spartan killer, what do you say, Jaga?
Jaga.
Yo, that dude had me heated.
He was bad.
He had me
just that whole
bro.
setup of where you look down and he's got and again, like what I loved about this, they made the elites very, 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 very like not only powerful, but they made them sadistic almost, because you could be going someplace and you can say, "Oh, look at this! Oh, I see this little trinket right here." And then next thing you know, that bastard's coming up here, die, human filth. What? Like, where did you come from? Like, they're just sitting there waiting for, like a spider, just waiting for something to get in their web and just to catch you. Like, they're invisible all over the place. You don't even know. Like, I went into one room and I'm like, "Oh shit! Look at all these new guns." Got cut and got killed.
Yeah, I came across two elites. Like, there was a couple soldiers dead on the ground, just in open space, open world. It was dead on the ground. So I went to look to, kind of like soak in some of the atmosphere, see what might have happened or whatnot. And all of a sudden, like you said, you just hear voices out of nowhere talking some shit, and you get 2 slices to your head, and you're done. Like it was like, yo, what happened?
Yeah, like but I love that they made the elites if there's one thing that I do appreciate for the older Halos is that they made the elites like, you know, beyond the little funny what, but they made them like really a problem. And in Infinite, they kept that. Like the elites were damn problem. And when you fought some of those bounties, when there was some of those damn elites, like, man, are you kidding me? Like, bro. So yeah, no, I do enjoy the hell out of it. I can't wait to hear Don's perspective of it. Because how we predicted it that I thought Don would like love the single player, and I wouldn't like the single player as much. But I would love the multiplayer of Halo Infinite, and he wouldn't like it as much. So I can't wait to hear what he has to say about the campaign, because I've found myself falling in love with it. So, and I don't want them to ever change. I don't want them to ever go back to the old model.
Yo, dude, like I have no idea what people were talking about out there. Yo, when it came to reviewers, when it came to, kind of like influencers out there on social media talking about the story kind of falls flat in the middle or what. The funny thing about this game is when you listen to these guys, right? They'll talk about how the story falls flat in the middle, how this doesn't work, how the world feels dead. And you're like, all right, well, what do you rate the game? 9 out of 10. Like, it's like, all right, well, if you had all these problems with it, like, I feel like you're kind of over embellishing things, but then you can't lie to yourself when it comes to your quote unquote score of the game. Like, you're talking about all these things that, that honestly, I didn't really feel. Like, I know the Halo ring, when it comes down to it, it's not supposed to be a busy metropolis city filled with thousands of people. It's supposed to be kind of like, it's nature on the surface, technology underground. Like that is the Halo ring, and like I feel when it comes to the story had me all the way through. Even some of the missions that kind of like in other Halos would feel like crazy repetitive, like, oh, here we go again, when you had to go to like the 3 different areas to put the data together. But even that didn't feel, because like right around the corner was just another part of the story that just drove me further into the game. Like I didn't feel like there was a flat area. I didn't feel like the story went flat. It answered that was another thing that it's like, oh, it left questions unanswered. I was like, did it really? Because it tied up Halo 5 pretty nice, when it came down to it, and what was going on with Cortana. Like I just don't know where these people got their information from, man. Like, did you play the game?
They played it on easy and probably just got to get through it. Some of them that some of those guys probably played it on normal just to try to get through it so they can have it, but they probably don't know the lore or into the lore like some of us are. And then even for some of us who don't read the books as thoroughly as others. So, and then there's also a popularity thing. Well, who wants to be that writer that wants to be the first person to say that game is a 6 out of 10 when everybody else is saying it's an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 or a 10 or a 10. So like that's just the politics of it. I look, the only part to me that dragged was the part of the spears, but it didn't drag to like I was expecting. I was really expecting, like, 'cause I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go to all these spears, and I got to look for this data. Oh my god! But it wasn't. But like you said, but before I even was getting there, I had to fight something, and I'm like, oh well, I got caught off by doing something else. But like, well, I'm right here to get me some intel or to get me a coding, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I got a couple of bounties right here, so let me do these things before I go to this spot. And by that time when I got in there, it was fresh to me because I was doing other things. If it wasn't for the open world aspect and I had to just go straight through that, then it probably would have dragged for me. Because I was like, oh man, I got to go back underground again for this shit. But it wasn't. But it wasn't. That part wasn't that long, and and like you were saying, there was parts in there that was just absolutely beautiful to look at from when you was down on the ground. So
yeah.
Yeah, I look, I was thoroughly impressed with it. For people who keep saying that they completely took out Halo, they tried to erase all of Halo 5. No, it follows Halo 5 and
It tied
4
it
to
up.
the T.
It tied
They
it up,
tied
man.
it up. Yeah, they tied it up. They gave a lot of,
They're
love
moving
to,
on from it.
yeah,
They're moving
yeah.
on from it, but
But yeah,
they're
but
not
they didn't.
ignoring it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
They
that's what. Yeah, there's some people that saying that they ignored. They didn't ignore Halo 5 or Halo 4, and then also, um, because people were saying it was a spiritual reboot. I think the whole reboot thing is the part of, like, maybe because you're playing with Chief full stack, and then the fact that they're doing something different by doing the open world thing, or
well,
or doing the reboot with the music.
spiritual
Uh,
reboot. If you look at it, like a lot of this mimics the original Halo. If you look at the first
right.
mission, you're on the ship as the ship is getting destroyed. In Halo 1, that was a UNSC ship, and they were
Mm-hmm.
getting boarded by the Covenant, but it was getting destroyed. So, and then you end up on the Halo ring and stuff like that. A lot of it mimicked like kind of like Halo 1. So spiritual reboot, it's you're back on a mysterious Halo. You're not looking for a composer and you're not fighting the die deck, but you're back on the Halo. There's mysteries on the Halo that you're kind of like solving. You're preventing an enemy army from getting a weapon as such on a mysterious Halo. I think that's the spiritual reboot that they're talking about.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of like, you just said it better than I did. Like, I think that the music, because the music did feel very Halo 1-ish. Um, which I loved it. There was no problem with that. The music was slapping.
Yes,
I,
yes.
yeah, and just the vibes or whatever. But it didn't, even though, like, the armor aspect of Chief is older, Halo 1 through 3 look, but the game did not look or feel like old school looking Halo.
No.
It felt fresh, new. I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of it, man. I really did. So,
Yeah, it was definitely
it's a kudos to them.
it's its own game. When it comes down
Yeah,
to
it's
it,
its
man.
own game. Right,
A
right.
lot of that, with the grappling hook, great addition to the game as well. Everybody has said that, so like it's not even that's not even we don't even have to discuss that. It's just it speaks for
No.
itself, man. But yeah, on that note, I think it's time to go. Again, I got to eat dinner.
Oh yeah, yeah,
All that good stuff,
yeah.
man. But
My Rachel's about to come on my Rachel Maddow to come on 30 minutes. Yes.
nice, nice. And
Mhm.
guys in the chat, I hope you like this. Again, it's a spoiler cast, and I think I'm gonna have this on my channel. Bigger games come out as people on the next podcast panel as we beat the game. Again, because there needs to be a place. You go to a regular podcast and you start talking about the newest game, and you get to the point where you start talking about things where other people haven't got to it yet. They're like, oh, whoa, hold up, no, I don't want to hear anymore and stuff. And part of the joy of beating a game is the ability to express what you saw, especially story games. Express what you saw. Kind of share theories about what's going to happen next, stuff like that. That is part of the joy of playing and beating these games. And I don't think people should be penalized for beating the game kind of like earlier than others. So I feel like this is a good thing to have on the channel. You have a spoiler cast. People can come in, can talk about what you saw, can talk about the ending to games, and of course, I think we started it with a bang when it comes to Halo Infinite. Man, Mega, I thought I had a lot of fun today, man. Just being able to
Yeah.
get all this stuff out, isn't it? Doesn't it feel good to be able to talk about all this stuff and
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about my prediction. So yeah,
not to hear,
it was
hey,
fun.
I haven't played that, I haven't been there yet. It's like, well, dude, what are you waiting for? Like you're sitting in an Xbox Live party with me for like 2 hours. You could have been 2 hours into this story, and we could be
I'm
talking.
like that too, though.
Yeah,
I'm like that too, though, with certain games. Like, I mean, I bought Valhalla day one, and I still haven't. I only played about 10 minutes of it. So, I'm just playing other games. But for games that I really must play and at that moment, I jump on those. But there's sometimes I just like to take my time and just get to certain games like that. And there's going to be gamers that's like that with Halo. So I mean, it's not going to be their very first choice to jump onto it. But no, I enjoyed this. So I mean, we should be looking to do this in the future. So more
Nice,
often.
nice. And yo, shout out to the chat. Yo, shout out to Lethal, who is our Halo kind of like lore professional in the chat. Shout out to
Yes.
you, bro. Like it's been as much fun talking about like the predictions and stuff like that. It's been as much fun like reading your comments as well, man. And I can tell you dive in hard when it comes to the books and everything like that. Shout out to
He's
you,
a
man.
real one. Yep. Yeah,
Yes,
he's a
sir.
real one.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yep. So it's it's Blue Shield too.
Yeah, Blue Shield, yo, Blue Shell, yo, shout out to you, bro. As usual, man, it is always good to see Blue Shell in the chat. Sir X Man, of course, he stopped in, and yo, shout out to his last super chat because like I told him about the spoilers and everything. So shout out to him, kind of like supporting the channel and all that with the super chat. But he said he don't care about the spoilers because he likes to come in and he likes to listen to his friends when we have a show and stuff like that. He likes to come
Nice.
in and show love and support and to hear what we got to say. So shout out to Sir X Man for that, man. He is a true kind of like supporter. When it comes to me, K Mega, the community in general, man, and of course you guys know he loves his PC and all those screens that he games on.
Oh my God.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, man. Sir X Man, absolutely love that, man. He is a brother to me and to a lot of people out there. But guys, that is pretty much it for now. If you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button. Share this show out, but only share it to people that you know would get into kind of like the story of Halo Infinite and stuff like that. Don't use this as a bomb. Use this show as a bomb to somebody that might just be going into the game and don't try to ruin it for him, man. It's been a crazy ride, and it's just beginning. They'll be adding content. There is more to this story, and we are ready. We are ready to share our thoughts and opinions with you guys. But K Mega, we got next podcast tomorrow night. You got GRG
Mhm.
the night after that. We're in for a busy week, bro.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and then I might, from some of the news that we've been hearing, whatever it might, I don't know, see what maybe maybe sometime between now and this weekend, I might drop a video, talking about some of the things that I've been hearing, but we'll see. Got to get more information about some things, but we'll see.
Hmm.
But other than that, yeah, we'll be getting down. GRG will be the last podcast of 2021. Look forward to it. We'll definitely have some guests, and we'll have a good time, man. Going out and celebrating the year and talking about just some some things. Maybe what was the biggest story for the year for them, for the people on the panel, and figure out some more other topics that's going to be dropping. So other than that, yeah, it's going to be great, man. So
Nice,
thanks for
nice.
coming
So
on through, man.
And also, stay tuned to this channel. I'm gonna be putting a poll out there for every new year is a new season of the next podcast, which means we need a new mascot. So shout out to the Master Chief who held it down this year as the next podcast
Hood it
mascot.
lock.
Oh, should I put him in? Should I put him in
Hood it
the voting?
hood it lock.
Okay, I'm gonna put Locke in the voting. Locke will be one of the characters, but you'll see that come up if you are subscribed to the channel. I will put that out in kind of like the community section, and you'll see and you'll be able to vote for the next podcast mascot for season 5. Season 5, man, I can't believe it. It's all because of you guys, all your support, all the love we get from the community. Thank you guys so much. But until tomorrow, we will see you tomorrow on next podcast. Have a great night, everybody. And I need to eat food. Is what I need to do. Later, everybody.
Hot dogs.
No.
This is Steve
No.
Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to next podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.